We're live, Brendo.
One of the biggest weeks of the year. We're back to the downside ever so slightly so far this morning here. 180, meanwhile, S&P 500 companies set to come through this week with earnings. We'll also get a look at GDP. We'll also get a look at non-farm payrolls coming up at the end of the week. Fed Chair Powell possibly back in focus here a little bit. All kinds of Fed speakers to come through as well. What a week it was last week, ending basically on the highs on Friday, heading into the weekend. So downside here ever so slightly. We are red, but only 0.07%. Apple in focus this morning ahead of their earnings reports come this week. We'll get Meta, we'll get Amazon as well. Interesting story around Amazon so far this morning with Prime Day coming up pretty quickly here. A lot of sellers maybe going to take a pass on the significance of Prime Day this year around with the new tariffs coming through. So, I mean, I've never shopped overly, excessively on Prime Day, but I mean, there are typically some deals that are interesting, but they might not be this year. Yeah, and there's a lot of talk, Brendo, about empty shelves possibly coming into play with now we've gotten a bit of we're a month deep almost since Liberation Day, and we're looking at U.S. ports, and the amount of ships coming into U.S. ports are markedly down where they were last month at this time. So super interesting to see. We got a lot of warnings from retail who met with Donald Trump last week to kind of make that point to him. Lots to talk about today, Brendo. A cheaper Model Y might be in view. Tesla's already up 1%, being criticized by some commentators online. Lilly getting a downgrade. Huawei apparently with a new chip to rival the H100 from Nvidia. So the chips are down. Domino's also reported, Brendo, down 2.5%. Peloton, Boeing, HIMS, all in focus today. There's a few. Yeah. There's a few things moving around here. Forget about the earnings, Starbucks as well with an interesting story. We'll touch on that coming up. 2 days in a row here, meanwhile, Friday and again here so far this morning for gold. Negative. So if you were sitting around on your hands, maybe waiting a little bit for, I mean, that's just GLD, the ETF, but if you were sitting around waiting for a bit of a buying opportunity for gold, maybe we're going to get one of those coming up here in the next little while. Some of the miners I noticed as well under a little bit of pressure, mirroring some of that price action. So, junior companies specifically, as we were talking a little bit last week about, under some pressure here past 2 days, but 0.4 for GDX, the other gold miners ETF worth watching here in the next couple of days. But massive earnings week. We'll get GDP, we'll get non-farm payrolls. It'll be one of those weeks. Obi is in for Neil this morning. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Brendan. Good morning, Sharif. Good morning, Obi. How's it going?
Not too bad. How are you?
That's pretty good. Busy weekend. We're gonna have to mind my voice again one more time. Was just out on the diamond a lot.
Okay.
This weekend, right. Yeah, had a lot of fun stuff going on. There was Hyde Park, and it was baseball, and the weather was nice.
The weather was beautiful.
It was. Oh my God. It was gorgeous. I mean, it was a little windy and a little chilly there yesterday, but yeah, so much fun. The Maple Leafs unfortunately lost on Saturday night. I don't know if you know that.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, so it's 3-1 that series, and they're going to see if they can win. We have our guy over here.
Let's go.
It was close. Yeah, it was overtime. 3 straight overtimes.
Oh, damn. Okay.
The Leafs had won 2 of them, and then they lost the other one. But
it was pretty close, is what you're telling me.
Pretty close. Yeah, it's a pretty close series. Yeah, looking at the market here today, it should be a good one. What was your weekend up to?
Not too bad. Enjoyed the weather. Went for a bit of a walk. Enjoyed the sun. Nothing too crazy.
Where do you walk? Like by down?
Just there's like parks and stuff. Okay, so right. I like forests. Just being around nature. It's kind of takes my mind off things.
We have. Hold on a second. Oh, my stream deck's not up. Election day.
Oh yes.
You voted yet, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't. I will be voting though.
Nice.
It's like, I don't know, they were saying something like there it is. They're looking at hopefully some up numbers this time because of all the interest rate now that's, between our government and some other government and some tariff-related news and whatnot. But last time I looked at it here on the poly market was 80-something% was, it might even be more than that.
Ooh, yeah, no, I haven't seen, let's take a look at that.
Let's take a
look at that.
Yeah, so let's just scroll down. 79%.
Okay.
Right now.
Really?
Looking liberal.
Damn.
It's a wrap. Unless you want to make a lot of money right now today and you want to buy a conservative vote right there, you can get 80 cents.
That's an interesting. Can we make this market?
Yeah, on Profit X.
Yeah, how do you make
this? This is Poly Market. This is not Profit X.
Interesting.
But if you bet $100 right now on the Conservative Party to win, $472 right there.
That's interesting.
So here you can make the market, but on our Profit X, which we'll get to after, you can go on there. I don't know if they have the Canadian election on there, but Poly Market and Call Sheet looking both like the libs are taking over. And, well, they've been here forever. They've been here for, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 years, Trudeau. And then he finally, obviously, stepped down, and now we're going the other way here. Carney's a little more conservative than Trudeau, but, again, the policies are what they are. Nvidia down 1.5% here today. I don't think there'll be any crazy election plays here in Canada. I mean, we had sort of got that question. We talked about that with Raheem a little bit. Some of the metal plays. Yeah.
Solar CSIQ is running.
Celestica had earnings. Yeah, Canadian Solar is another name. Celestica CLS last week. Yeah, last week CLS came through, and we had one of our guys talk about that as well. Steve Tileman from Trade the Pool was talking about CLS with us on Thursday night. So that was pretty good. Bitcoin today, I haven't had a look at what MSTR per se is doing. But
we're almost back to the 100K mark.
Yeah, 375. Yeah, I think we can get to 100K by the end of the week.
Yeah,
that's
we can
5%.
Do that today. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. It's 5%. There's nothing wrong. And then even all-time highs. I mean, it was 109 and change. Here's Bitcoin right here at 95,308. Like that's a pretty sweet move there. And then you're looking at a stock like, Mara's seen that bottom of $12 now, like 4 or 5 times, if not in the last month alone. And then did you know that last week was the second best week? And I know Brendan hinted at this there on the open, second best week of the month. And now we'll look to turn NASDAQ positive, went there on Friday. We'll look to see if we can turn the S&P 500 positive here today as we go through one of the biggest earning weeks of the season. So any names you're looking forward to this earnings week?
No, Sean, I'm definitely very, very excited. And yeah, that move on the market, we were kind of talking about this, and I showed you this earlier as well. Like the 1 month on the SPDR is absolutely crazy. And you kind of look back at it. I guess it's a little bit easier to see on the ES. This is the monthly candle. Look at that bottom wick on the monthly candle. So some aggressive buying. Like if you look in the past here, this chart is it adjusted? Yeah, so it's an adjusted chart right here. So pretty crazy kind of bidding going into the end of the month. Now only 2 days left to close off the month. The opening price here on the SPDR is 557.45, and I think on the ES itself it's somewhere around 56.40s. Ish, 56.44 something, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I'm going to be looking for that to potentially come in. And yeah, lots of potential this week with earnings coming out for a few of these Mag 7s names. We already started last week with some Google and some Tesla, and maybe a little bit of Intel as well. So I'm watching some of those. Tesla breaking out 290s. I think that's interesting. We just looked at some of those prior structures. What's going on, Randy? How's your weekend?
Happy Monday.
Thank you very much. What, are these plums? These are I think they're plums.
Yeah, they're plums. Yeah. We've had those.
Almost look like an apple, like a mini apple for a second. But yeah.
It's mini Max there.
Yeah.
We like the plums. So Randy, how the weekend was all right?
Good.
Yeah.
Real good.
Nice. You get out anywhere on the water?
He's not allowed out.
No, not yet.
No.
Coming though.
I thought you were working on the car.
No.
Yes. Okay, that's nice.
Car work.
What's that in your hand? Oh, a wrapper? Oh, I thought you were pulling something out over here.
You know what it is?
A garbage bag, dog bag.
Dog poop.
Yeah,
Wow,
exactly. Yeah, I know all about those. That's for sure. You're just a cat guy.
Yeah, I have 2 cats. I mean, I like dogs as well, but I do have 2 cats. So.
Oh, by the way, but we're gonna go back to Brendan in just 1 second.
Oh yeah.
But the biggest of bears is back.
Oh yeah. It came up on my scans last night.
The big bear AI is up 8.2%. We actually have a note there on our watch list today. Make sure you do grab that watch list. And there it is. Oh, that's Trade Ideas. Watch list. The link will be in description. We're going to go over that. We should have Michael Noss coming up soon as well. So we'll see if we can talk to him about some relative strength and weakness. I'm not even sure what's on the docket for him. But yeah, lots of stuff moving around today. I actually wrote down Palantir already. That looks like you might want to break that 113 area. If we can break above 113.50, that's the pre-market high. We'd like to see some Palantir action today. I'm thinking Nvidia. Nvidia's low today, down almost 2%, looking to see if we can get some Huawei action there on different chips and whatnot. So yeah, look, excited day. Joe just stepped in the building, so we're excited for that. We've got Fabian over there. We've got Andre, Adara, everybody's here. Neil taking the day off. He'll be back in tomorrow. I've got Friday off as that's, again, another situation with the kids, like this never stops. So yeah, it's going to be a really, really good day here, really good week. I love earnings week. And what I was asking you about before we got was earnings. Like, is there one specific name?
For today,
for this week that you're looking
for
at?
this week, yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna take them as we come, as they come. Apple looks interesting, and again, yeah, I'm looking to ride some of the earnings volatility and momentum that we got from last week. Like Google looks really interesting to me because the whole market was bidding up and Google sold off pretty aggressively, kind of closing near the day low. So I don't know, maybe there's more supply on Google that we can look for today, distinctly different from some of its other friends in the Mag 7. But yeah, Google, Tesla, and yeah, Apple this week as well, I think. So.
All right, let's go back over and see what the boys are up to.
Here on Domino's Pizza, there was couple of earnings names this morning, but if you missed it here coming in the start of the show there, I was mentioning 180 S&P 500 companies going to come through this week with their reports. Domino's this morning, downside here on very light volume, but quite a surprise here on not only the sales side of things, but the forecast as well. Again, I mean, the forecast maybe not as much. Another one pointing to uncertainty and the lack of clarity and what is going to come here in the near future, but not as many people buying pizza.
No, clearly not. And this is where you start seeing it, Brendo, this type of thing, when consumer spending starts declining. And what really caught my attention about this report was the variance here between international sales and U.S. domestic sales. So let's talk about it. So their domestic comparable store sales, which is basically the stores that have been open for a year. How did they do last year versus what they reported this year? They missed. Down 0.5%. The estimate here was for growth of 3%. Compare that to their international store sales, up 3.7%, easily beating that 1.9% they were looking for there. Now, here's where it got a little convoluted. Their U.S. stores, they're opening this year, 17 net new stores are looking to open, but they're also looking at 25 closures for their international. So even though their international is outperforming, it seems to be maybe because they're cutting costs a little bit better on those sales. So we'll have to see how that does. Brendo, they've got they bought back about $50 million worth of their shares, but the authorized amount remains at 702 million.
A lot more of them, I feel, in the U.S. than here in Canada. I mean, there are Domino's here, but nowhere near as many. Are you a Domino's kind of guy?
I don't eat pizza all that much,
same.
Brendo.
Even if I was to indulge, it would be at a mom and pop place, not necessarily a Domino's, but it's a surprise, 2.8% here. Again, not a lot of volume behind this, but we'll keep an eye on Domino's. Coming up today, that is Michael Noss's chart of gold, and he's going to tell us why we should all short gold, Mr. Noss. That's bold.
Bold call, right? But I think sometimes you gotta put your foot down, maybe make a bold call. But as always, right, I've got a plan here. There'll be risk associated with it. But yeah, that chart's insane. So it might be time to do a little fading.
Yeah, that's a weekly chart for anyone who can't see that at the top there of gold. I mean, everyone's been well aware of this and keeping an eye on it. But here we are. Downside here 2 days in a row. Tell us why.
Yeah, so, I started with this chart and I drew this out because I know I was coming in here being the guy hammering the table, and like Brendan mentioned there, this is a weekly chart. This goes back to like 2012, and I was the whole time saying, hey, look, this cup and handle, this looks amazing. I would love to say that I held all of my gold that I got on the breakout for this massive move, but I certainly didn't. So, right, but we had a crazy move here. And sometimes when it comes to these commodities, when they get parabolic like this, you start to look for signs that maybe it's a little bit toppy. So there's trades you can take on the other direction. And the sign came to me this weekend, which is the next slide. I talk about this all the time, where this was the cover of Barron's, and it was the kind of headline if you go onto their website, and they're talking about there's gold and how do you get it into your portfolio. And I always remember like all the crypto stuff in 2018. It's like, here's how you buy Ripple. And then before it, completely cratered 99%. We talk about this again all the time when it comes to generally the markets, and they teach about this in the CMT. Like, this is part of the CMT curriculum, which I find is funny. And the idea is that by the time a move has gotten to the point where everybody's talking about it so much that Barron wants to write an article, so much that it gets through their editors and they've already written it and they've got all their data points and all that, is that by the time these things show up as headlines, it's the modern day version of what they used to call like the shoe shine indicator, where, you know, when the shoe shine boy was talking about these hot stocks that he was buying, it might be time to sell. So I'm looking at that. And then, but of course, as a technician, the next chart just shows the weekly candle, which is a little bit more obvious here if you look at the futures as if you look at GLD, because again, futures are 24/5, except that kind of 1 hour for reset. And there's a pretty wild topping tail on last week's candle. And I just kind of drew, last time we had a run up and we had a pretty big topping tail there that doesn't look as big because the log charts, but we had about 3 weeks of a pullback, and that's really all I'm looking for. I'm not saying gold's going to crash back down to where it broke out of or anything like that. I'm just looking at this most recent move, especially the last 3 or 4 weeks. This topping tail was put in and say, okay, maybe it's time, now that everybody's talking about gold and Barron's in talking about why you should buy it and how you can put it in your portfolio, might be time to take a little bit of a shot. So this next chart, just very quickly, is just GLD. And I just want to show you guys this chart just to quickly put it in your brain to then compare it to this next chart. And this next chart is the gold miners. And you can see how much cleaner and how much larger of an up move between, yeah, perfect, that's great, between gold, which has just been up, and gold miners, which really have been barely getting going. So we talk about relative strength, relative weakness all the time. So if I was looking to buy, I would probably just buy the commodity. That's what I did when I bought that cup and handle breakout. I just bought GLD. Gold miners haven't really been able to participate very much. So if I'm looking to take the other side of that, I'm probably going to look at the gold miners thing. So the next chart is just kind of how I'm going to structure this trade. Again, it's really simple. I just learned about this. I'm usually the guy who can bring you all the weirdest ETFs, but I just learned about a triple inverse gold miners ETF. So this is GDXD is a triple inverse gold miner ETF. Pretty liquid. So this is going to, if the gold miners sell off 1%, this will go 3%. Couple caveats and warnings I always give, especially when we're talking about triple leverage ETFs. That means if the gold miners gap up 10% because there's something crazy goes on in the world, this will move 30% against me before I can take a trade. So you just have to understand that when you're trading these things, they are volatile for a reason. That's the whole point of them. So it's not so I'll put a full-size trade onto it and hope to make, I think it's like 120% if it ends up getting to the top of that target. It means that I can use 1/3 less of my money in order to take the trade. That's why I use these leverage ETFs, is not to get 3 times the juice. Again, it's to take up 1/3 of the buying power. So I really want to reiterate that. Also, these will go down over time. So if this was more than just I'm looking to buy this and maybe hold it for a couple weeks or a month or so, I wouldn't pick a leverage instrument because they use derivatives to get this leverage, and those derivatives grade over time. So if you zoom out really far in any of these charts, you just see they go down over time in reverse split. It's a feature, not a bug. So those 2 caveats out of the way. Again, this is really, really crazy. The trade ends up being pretty simple though. I'm looking, there's about 2 weekly highs right above us, right where we closed last week. I'm looking to get involved. If we make a move above that high, my stop loss goes at the low, which again is pretty much the all-time high for Bitcoin because this is inverse. And then if we get a push back up to the last place that we rested and we had that 3 weeks rest, it's like an 8-to-1 risk reward. So that's the kind of thing that when I'm fading these big moves, I need in my favor. Is the risk reward so massive that I know if I'm wrong, so there's a good probability, if not even a better than 50-50 probability that I'm going to be wrong? Does that risk reward make up for it, that if I take this bet over and over again, it will have positive expectancy? So that's my idea. Again, maybe it's time to short the Barron's cover is the broad theme, and then maybe looking at relative weakness in the gold miners might be a good way to express it.
Maybe caveat this with the first one being this is not a instrument that you would ever want to continue to hold for a long term.
Right.
I know we're going to get the question, it looks like a long trade, but you're talking about going short. You explained the inverse side of things, but maybe just run through that quickly again, because it's, just to sum it up, really, it's a mirrored instrument.
Yeah, so what these guys do is they use derivatives, in this case, essentially buying puts on the gold, or they short and then they buy put on the GDX, which is the gold miner index. So that's how this chart will look kind of completely mirrored from the gold miners chart. So what they do is they buy puts and they use derivatives and put spreads and futures contracts. It's really complicated to get into the exact math, but that's why what Brendan was saying, you don't hold these long term, because of the fact that they're using derivatives contracts means that those derivatives contracts degrade over time. So if I hold this for 5 years, I will definitely lose money, even if gold miners are lower than they are when I took the trade on, because these things will degrade over time. Same as just buying put options or something like that. So yes, this will go up in the short term 3 times whatever gold miners goes down. But because they're using these derivatives, they're buying these put options, they degrade over time, and then they have to buy more put options. So this instrument, without a shadow of a doubt, regardless of what happens in the world, will be lower than this price in like 3 to 5 years.
Perfect. Great stuff. Michael Noss back with us after the close tonight. On the close, we'll talk then. See you then.
Talk to you then.
All right, yeah, good to hear from Michael Noss. We talked about this last Tuesday, I think, shorting gold, and it's been a good trade so far, right? And I just think that, and I was basically using the same thought pattern there is that it's just overbought, and it just seemed to have gone there, really got excited, and then I talked about this with Brian on Tuesday, Brian Shannon, and I said, when everybody's talking about it being such a hot trade, that's probably when it starts to fade out a little bit, right? I mean, you saw Tesla's get going there last week on momentum as well. Gold, I think now the momentum's to the downside. So I don't know if Michael's late on this call or not, but seems to be a little bit, because 315 to 320, you're now down into 303 right now, but there still is that gap filled to the downside. I always think that if you're gonna look at something, watch out for the 50-period moving average. That might be where you get into before you stop. We've seen that happen on many different stocks. Why couldn't it happen on gold again? So yeah, and then GDXJ, GDXG, there's a bunch of different inverse 3 times, 2 times levered contracts there for gold. Just the miners alone is just GDX. So that's, had a little bit of a downside push as well. If my chart actually loads over the last couple of days. So there it is, downside there from 53 down to 48. So yeah, I don't know. When it's the shiny new toy, right? He talked about the shoe shiner. There, when you're Uber driver, when you're barber, when you're this, when you're that, your uncle that you never talk to about stocks is all of a sudden talking about a stock, or, I don't know, your mother's asking you how Bitcoin's doing, things like that. That might be where some of these peaks are at, because when Main Street gets involved, then you kind of know Wall Street might be going the other way. So I think that's a great call by Michael. It's a good look. And I mean, that's what we've been doing every single day, is looking for possible retracements, looking for momentum. And right now, the momentum seems to be to the downside there for gold.
Yeah, I think that's definitely
my undershirt.
A bit extended.
You are muted.
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely a good look. They're a bit extended for sure. I've been watching the gold chart pretty closely, and yeah, I think I definitely agree with Mr. Noss here, where yeah, it's definitely worth a stab. I personally like a reject of 35. I think it's more than worth a stab at. I usually like that kind of trade, and yeah, making an all-time high at that 35 and then pulling back. I just put that anchored on right there at the highs as well. You can see that retest coming in and maybe kind of showing us that, again, volume-weighted anchored price, or sorry, average price, and this is the anchor to the highs right there at that 3,500. You can see that we're kind of holding this bit of a shelf here at 32 halves. So 32.50s right there. If we can kind of continue lower, then yeah, I think that trade is definitely well within range. I'll be watching for that. And yeah, lots of other vehicles that you can be using to kind of take this trade, as Michael Noss pointed out as well. So thank you for that. But yeah, gold definitely on watch, very much in play, I would say, at least very much for a swing.
In your portfolios, yeah. I mean, I think you can still take a piece now, even if you think that gold is making moves down. I mean, nothing wrong with averaging in. We talked about getting into Tesla there before earnings at 230. Now you're looking at 290. So feels like it's a decent opportunity there for sure. All right, let's go over to Adara, I guess, at the screen, and we'll figure out what's been upgraded and downgraded today.
The downgrade side of things gets really interesting, but let's start with the upgrades. Boeing earnings last week up 1.5% with a Bernstein nod and a $218 price target. Peloton, this one cycling higher here. Truist upgrade with an $11 price target. Zscaler here getting upgraded by Exane BNP Paribas. And On Holdings with an upgrade from Citigroup. The downgrade side of things, Eli Lilly is set to report on Thursday morning, getting a $700 price target and a downgrade from HSBC. We have Biogen, another name in that space, also getting an HSBC downgrade. Twilio ahead of its earnings report on Thursday, getting this Jefferies financial downgrade. And last but not least, Etsy, another name set to report this week on Wednesday morning, getting a downgrade from Canaccord Genuity. So a lot of pre-earnings downgrades and post-earnings upgrades on the list today. Back to you.
All right, some
Thank you.
interesting names there. Thank you.
Yeah, which one do you have up? I was gonna look at Peloton. Oh, you have Peloton.
Yeah, I literally pulled up Peloton. I was like, let's see, let's cycle back to this one because I know this one was pretty popular during 2021, and all the way back down here. So you can see that absolutely beautiful push that we did have. Again, I remember this craziness that was happening on Peloton, and I was like, wow, if you throw up an iPad on a bike, and I guess you can get pretty far with that business model. But right place at the right time. I think that was a good one for them. But you can see pretty much back down into sub 10s here, 270 lows here from sometime last year. It seems like in and around April. Yeah, at the end of April there, we made that low there at that 270. Trading a little bit higher, but yeah, let's see, keeping it on watch. I think earnings is also potentially coming up Thursday, May 8th. So that's next week, right? Yeah, that's next week. So definitely one to potentially keep an eye on there. But yeah, that's the one I kind of picked up on. Bit of a bid here in the pre-market, maybe potentially off of that upgrade news here. So let's see if we get some continuation. We've been getting that strong grind up last week, but not just on Peloton, right? The whole market got that grinding bid both on Thursday and Friday. So I'm looking to see if that bid kind of continues. We've seen some of the charts over the weekend, some of them kind of building up pretty strong. Let's see if we have some follow through and continuation on the week today. But yeah, Peloton was the one that kind of stood out to me there on the upgrades and downgrades list. How about you?
Yeah, I like Peloton taking out that 200 pre-moving average on the daily as well. We don't have too many stocks that are actually doing that. I was looking at Eli Lilly, but only 24,000 shares there. So I want to check that out because it's actually down 1.5%. And in a market that seems like it wants to go a little higher today, I am trying to find some shorts because I actually kind of want to get short until we get some more information about this whole market getting back to green on the S&P 500. I just think that right now we could teeter a little bit at some of these levels and maybe start to give back. But we have some long ideas as well. But yeah, Eli Lilly, great aggressive move. And it's just over the last 2 weeks, this name has really rocketed. Like that bottom of 720, Obi, there's going to be a few stocks that look maybe just as good, but you got the bottom. Like it just came in, and sure, it scared the you-know-what out of a lot of people with all these downside wicks there. Then they got the oral dose going on for their GLP-1 drug, it looks like. That's going to get approved there. And then better results in the Novo drug there. So that had a nice move up last week. We took out the 200, we took out the 50-period moving average. And now instead of 720, I wonder if you're thinking about buying 820. So it just continues to go a little higher here. So down 1.5%. Maybe we can get that pullback into something that's buyable, right? I mean, downgrades often will come after huge moves up. So it's not necessarily downgrading the stock for where they feel. And I didn't even have to rewind to see exactly what that price downgrade or target is. But I still think it continues to work. I like Eli Lilly going higher here, and dip buying this name seems to be one that works. I mean, this is a wonder drug. It's a diabetic. It's going to be addictions. There's lots involved with this. So that's Eli Lilly, and then here's NVO. So just remember the chart of Eli Lilly there, and then you get Novo is this way, right? And so I think once you anoint winners, there's nothing wrong with jumping on the back of them. So, yeah, it looks like Eli Lilly's going to be that one. So I think on a downgrade, it's definitely worth something to sit in there and try to buy. So, yeah, for Eli Lilly, I'm a buyer of that downgrade. All right, it's only 30 more minutes until we get this market open. The NASDAQ right now looks like it's hovering around zeros, as does the ES. So we're going to need to get some imbalance action. Now, here it is right here, NASDAQ zeros and ES zeros. So yeah, really flat right now. We're gonna hope to get a little bit of a bump early. We'll take a look at those imbalances when they come through, but for right now, let's go back over to the desk and start our watch list rundown.
Oh man, All right, let's get a look at the market here, and then we'll get into what is going to be a busy day.
55.50, very important area, guys, where we closed out on Friday on the ES June contract. Look at this area over here back in March that we used to support, and then it recycled as multiple areas of resistance back in early April, again in mid-April, and now we've been hanging out at this 55.50 as resistance for the last few days. So the deal is, if we clear it and clear it well, we're looking at the next level there of around 56.25 as that first resistance area. If we lose it, we'll look to 54.40, that area crest back from April 3rd, as support.
If you have not done so yet, free stuff for you. Jump down to the description of this video. Top link in the description will get you to the sign up page. You need your email address, and then you can just have the watch list. Comes free every single morning right to your inbox, has everything on it that is moving around in the pre-market and why. Huge week for earnings. If you missed it, right off the bat, we were touching on it a little bit there. 180 of the S&P 500 names coming through this week for earnings, including biggest of the big in ways of tech here. We'll get Microsoft, we'll get Meta, we'll get Apple, we'll get Amazon as well coming through later in the week. That's Apple right now, 0.34 to the upside. I mean, they're all kind of looking the same, just kind of grinding. Whoops. I can spell AMZN. There we go. Just kind of grinding to the upside here. Back to positive, which is a good sign with the market still lagging here a bit.
Not going to complain about that, Brendo.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what to expect and what the dates are. So here we go. Meta, Microsoft, April 30th, they report first. Then we get Apple and Amazon as we typically do together. That's May 1st, so let's get ready for that. Now, since that February 19th, 2025 market peak, look at these retracements. Microsoft, 4.5% in the negative. Apple, 15%. Amazon, 17.1%. You guys can read. So we've basically been selling off quite aggressively. Here's what we're expecting, though, for Q1 2025 earnings expectations. The Mag 7 earnings are expected to grow around 19.5% on about 11% revenue growth versus that Q1 2024 print. However, earnings growth forecasts for 2025 have dropped, believe it or not, from the previous estimates about 9.9% down from to 9.9% down from 15.7, which was expected about 3 months ago. Meta's estimates have been significantly reduced, while Microsoft, Apple, and Amazon estimates are kind of stable. And by the end of this week, about 71.2% of all the S&P 500 companies will have reported. So far, as Brendo mentioned, 180 have reported with earnings about 18% year-over-year increase. Revenue, Brendo, 14.2, and about 70% EPS beat rate for the companies that have reported so far.
Yeah, you and I were just saying before we came on there, it'll be really interesting to look at forecasts this time around, specifically from an Apple. We'll see Microsoft even on the AI spend side as well. So it might be a wait and see until we get to those dates that you showed there before. But positive here, as we said to start, guys.
Oh yeah, definitely some strong names to watch out for. And yeah, I think I mentioned earlier I was looking for Apple coming in this week. Again, one of the market leaders for sure. And yeah, going to be interesting to see what kind of price action results off of their earnings report. We know that the market's been bidding up. You take a look at a few of these tech names, and yeah, definitely we talked about that grinding bid last week, Thursday and Friday, kind of pulling us up into some prior levels. This is Apple right here, that prior level coming in at that 213 level as well. You can see that from Wednesday the 2nd, we got that quadunk in the after hours. There on Apple, we're kind of coming right back up in, so reverted about over 50% of that flush that happened recently at the beginning of the month. And yeah, Amazon as well, kind of on watch, coming into prior levels. You take a look, it's pretty much the same thing across the board. We've got Apple, Amazon, Microsoft as well, and Meta that we said, yeah, 395, so almost 400, back to 400 on Softy. You can see a little bit of a shelfy action here as it pulls back up into some of these tops. Let's see if supply is still there. Every time we've been there over recent times, we've seen that we've sold off of these levels, and now we're getting that grind back up after kind of maybe a potential bottom. I don't know. We were talking about this morning, Sean. The president did tell us to buy.
Right.
So
and you did.
What are we doing? What are we really doing? Can't go
Well,
wrong.
we're winning a lot of winning. So yeah, as long as all right. So big tech earnings. Yeah, look, I mean, if we're going to talk about the big tech name for me today is going to be Palantir. But if we're going to talk about names that are going to be reporting this week, then yeah, there is. I mean, I don't know if you wanted to show. I mean, we have the earnings whisper. It's absolutely huge this week. I was trying to find out what day was
Wednesday after hours.
Yeah. So Meta. The reason why I think Meta is an interesting play is that we saw a good push through from Google, right? And I mean, similar for the ad spend there, seems to be pretty strong. We know that was a good read for Meta, and Meta has been going, straight up since that Google report as well. So, again, a nice little bottom there of 500 up to 550, 560. This is the name that I'm most excited for. I think we can get back into these mid 600s for this name. But again, this is a name that there's a lot of traders excited for. So maybe sometimes when you're really super jacked for something, potentially it does go the other way. We talked about buying Tesla before earnings, and that was down there at 230. And I was saying maybe it's just everyone's saying so bad that as long as it's not horrible, but it kind of was and still went up anyways. So that leads me to maybe a pullback in a name that we've already had, and that's Google. This Google 160 level is a good dip buy opportunity in my opinion as well. Underneath now the 50-period moving average, if we can get some love, we broke through that 160, nice move there. We didn't have a chance to trade it. So if we do get a pullback into 160 off of earnings, then I do like Google. Obviously, they've already reported here with Alphabet, but this would be a tech play for me today as well. Back into 160 for Google. Watch out for Meta. And Meta's more of a play because we do have that on Wednesday. But then for today, because it's not on the board here, let's just quickly talk about Palantir. This name is already going, man. I mean, I wrote down 113.50 in the pre-market on the sticky note right here today. That didn't last very long. That lasted just about as long as I wrote it down there. 113.50 up to 114. Palantir almost back to all-time highs again. This name, if you're going to play something with momentum, it's only up 1%, and we know it can get going, and it has the opportunity to dip down quite aggressively off the open. So we're going to be having all eyes on Palantir and see if it can give us a bottom, because it's been a great stock to trade, especially when the momentum looks like this. And if you look at this chart, I mean, come on, let's give it some love. This is for Friday afternoon, straight up today. The direction here looks pretty obvious. So Palantir for me is going to be a big long at some point. It's just a matter of, do we get that initial dip down, or does it wind up giving us just strength all day and we're looking for breakout spots? So on Palantir, honestly, man, I mean, 120 seems like it has a target on it again. And we do have a poll up right now, so if everybody's in there, make sure you do hit the like, hit the subscribe. You can't get involved in our chat until you are a subscriber. If you could buy one company, which one? Okay, so I guess if we're investing in one company here, Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Meta, Obi, I'm going to choose, it's like draft day. Which hat am I going to wear? Well, we really like Meta, but I'm going to go with Amazon. So my bet is going to be Amazon right there. And it looks like it's well divided.
Yeah.
Meta, Amazon, Apple, which you know what that means.
Softy.
Microsoft will be your true winner of these four. So, I mean, that's what's right. Generally when the public goes one way, it's kind of the other way. So we'll wait to see. No, I mean, that's true, right? We'll wait. I mean, we can actually hold this. Why don't we hold this, and then we'll take this result down and we'll mark it. Then after all four of these report, then we'll figure out which one has the best.
Be cool.
The best report and what it looks like from this day forward. So April 28th, we'll figure out which one everyone likes the most, and then we'll go on from there. So let's, which one would you choose?
No, I like that. I see the votes are still coming in, so that could be like, 1,000 of you voted. Let's see how things actually turned out.
It's like the Canadian election over here.
Yeah. No, I think honestly, that's funny enough. I like Amazon as well. I think long term they definitely have a lot more growth potential that they're capable of doing, but that's just my opinion. It means nothing.
Well, the Amazon story is what Sharif was saying there. If we do have some empty shelves, can Amazon get the products to people? They do have that Prime Day. I didn't even realize that was coming. Are there going to be the deals there? What does the tariff looks like on some of those products that are just made in China? Like I got our last Prime Day, we got the Nespresso machine.
Yeah.
So we've had those for a while, but it doesn't matter. And anyways, those are probably made in Vietnam or Thailand, China or somewhere. So are they able to give those at such great discounts? we'll have to see. But
I'm thinking more along the lines of like cloud services and like AI and going forward, data centers and stuff.
Forget about the
like,
retail side.
Like sure, that business is great for Amazon, but I think in terms of growth potential, like they're already making a lot of money on that. I'm talking about things where they can expand into relative to the new technologies that are coming out now, and the demand that we're seeing for that. I think in that area they definitely have a lot of expansion.
The cloud is huge, right? It's just do we not worry about competition? Azure, the Google Cloud, Amazon, AWS, right? So
they're set up for success, man.
There's a lot there, and Amazon Prime, I think, has some work to do, but it's still decent getting up there. So some nice stream options there. Amazon for me is the one, but let's just see what everybody else does. And we didn't skew the results because both of us picking Amazon.
That's funny.
Here, let's go over. Let's ask Sharif and Brendan which of those four they would think has the best results this upcoming season.
Tough question.
Season, it's a shorter term range.
I mean, like you and I were just saying, I think we all have to kind of just remember that these results are behind us, and it's the forward-looking statement that's going to be more important. Best results, not Apple. That's for sure. I mean, I kind of like Amazon, as you guys were saying.
I'm going to go Meta. I think Meta has the most.
Yeah, I mean, especially after that Google number on the ad side.
Exactly. Everybody was
probably a good
saying,
call.
"Oh, the Chinese spend's going to get cut."
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I see everyone in our building with Amazon boxes at their door almost every day. So that has not slowed down, that is for sure. Let's go on to Nvidia here. I put weak, but maybe not for long here. We're down just 1%, but moving back to the upside here in a hurry. It's struggling a little bit with 110. What a week last week, though, for Nvidia.
Oh, fantastic week. Nice to be back above 100.
Yeah.
We'll have to see for how long, though, because now they've got a competitor, and it's out of China. And the name of the company, guys, is Huawei. So if we can show the chart there, Huawei is preparing technical trials for its new Ascend 910D processor, its latest and its most powerful AI chip, aiming obviously to rival Nvidia's H100, which is not their latest chip, by the way. The Ascend 910D could launch soon. The first batch of the 910D chip samples are expected to arrive as early as late May. But the mass shipments of the Ascend 910C, which is a separate advanced chip, are also planned for next month. Huawei obviously hopes that the Ascend 910D will outperform NVIDIA's H100, which is obviously very crucial for AI model training. But sadly, I don't know about sadly, export bans have cut off NVIDIA's most advanced AI chips from the Chinese market, Brendo. So the necessity is the mother of all invention. So we'll have to see how they do.
Yeah, path of least resistance, up or down here, guys?
Interesting question.
Least resistance, down. Yeah. I think so. I think that up, well, I mean, we just made that 110. I was going to say, I mean, it's a great question. I had written down here for today's sticky note that we were looking at NVIDIA to short. It's down 1% here today. I don't like any of that talk for all this competition. I mean, we know competition's heating up, right? But at the same time, they're already, they're down 40%. Like their high was 148 or something like that. So now we're at 110, so we're not down as much. But I always have that $100 marker in my head. And right here with a negative story, I thought 110. So 110 was the bottom there on Friday. I mean, it was, and we got going. But in the afternoon there, we had that 110, and then we sort of bounced off of 110 again right at the close before we got some imbalances to create this to the upside. So I was looking to short this 110 OB and thinking that we wanted to get underneath that. So it looks like it's going to hold out to be the right play for right now. It's just, what goes up must come down. And if you're looking at the momentum of this stock right now, it does have a huge momentum over the last couple of days to the upside, but what stock really hasn't, especially in the tech space. So there's the 50 period. It's at 110.50. I mean, ultimately, you'd like to get the short in this area and like dare it to take out the top. So we've seen this. Neil talked about this last week. I've said we can see when NVIDIA is going meme crazy. So if it just starts to bid up, we can get out of the way. So for me, I want to be short this name. But again, looking at the chart the way it is right now, the real, that's right, we have the split issue there. The real short, like you're looking for it to get into this 114, 115 area where the 50-period moving average is, and those are those tops of the month, right? So we talked about the NASDAQ already being back up here for the month, so the NASDAQ's already turned green. So we'll have to wait to see if NVIDIA can do sort of the same thing here this month and get above these 114 areas. So I don't know. It was just a path of least resistance. I just think because we've seen those tops and it's down today against an up market, if the market turns, Nvidia probably helps that turn as well. The safer play though, Obi, so you're not standing in front of a wall, is maybe waiting to see for 109 to hold. And if it doesn't, then we can get to the downside because clearly today that's been support. So I'm kind of all over the place now because we're already at 110, but this is a name that I'm definitely looking at. And then we've seen it here before. And we've always said, okay, if AMD's going, then maybe Nvidia, but they don't necessarily trade the same. There's been days when Neil and I have been looking at Nvidia and it's up and AMD's down. So AMD looks to be the stronger name here so far early today. So that's another thing to look at. And then I don't know, you still want to talk about Nvidia, so that's good. Intel is over 20 bucks again.
Like that.
So potentially, you look at that psychological level of 20, right? That was just kind of in question all day on Friday, where we kind of just broke it, held around, broke it, held around. So this 1985 is a decent level too for Intel. So just a little levels that we're looking at right there, thinking about them because right off the jump, the market's not, really speaking one way or the other. If anything, it looks like it wants to go long.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the futures are bidding up as of right now. So I have had eyes on both the Nasdaq and the ES here, both trading current session highs as of right now. But Nvidia, I'm looking here at a 3-hour chart, Sean. So I like that we've seen the bid. So I'm gonna try to keep it as simple as possible today. That's what I told myself. I'm like, I came in. I was doing my scan last night. I'm like, all right, well, Nvidia is definitely looking pretty decent. We're coming back into some areas where we've seen supply, right? Back here, you can see a bit of a toppy action there on some strong strength. That volume comes in, and guess where it hits? It hits a price. It's an area, maybe a zone of supply. You can see that comes right back in. Right here, comes right back into the 115s. Look at that. That supply comes right back in and takes us and fades us all the way back down below 100 for a low in and around 96s. But that's a higher low relative to that strong volume that we got. So all I'm looking for is the continuation of what we saw last week. Grinding bid. So that was a relentless bid. Trust me, I know. I tried shorting multiple times and I'm like, oh boy, this is just not having it. This is just slowly kind of trending up. So the question now becomes, do we still see supply if Nvidia can come back up into 115? So another thing that I want to point out here, I'm going to turn on my indicators. Now everybody don't get too excited. There's a lot of indicators here, but there's one that I want to point your attention to. I'm not focused on any one of these except for one single one. This really dark red anchored VWAP. Now this anchored VWAP is from all-time highs. So right now we can see that every time we tried to chop around, we tried to sustain, but since then we've been making lower highs underneath that anchored VWAP. So again, it's more confluence for the idea that supply might be standing in and around this area. So that's all I'm looking for. That's what the chart is showing me. But here's the thing as well. Last week we broke this short-term downtrend and we trended up. So I'm looking for that continuation of more of the same here. Maybe you want to use a trend line, or maybe you even want to use an anchored VWAP, and you can see right there that average participant is kind of holding that price as we take up. So sure, we could trade all the way lower down to 104s and 103s and still be well within range for that bid to show right back up again. So that's what I'll be watching here on Nvidia. No idea what it's going to do off of the open, but I think those pre-market levels, that 109 that Sean pointed out, and last week's high at 112 could definitely be interesting areas to watch the tape and watch the book on Nvidia today if and when those prices come in. So that's my look on Nvidia. Is it weak? I got no idea. Last week though, pretty strong. So let's see if we get more of the same this week.
A little pop here for Bitcoin. Early on this morning, we're back to almost positive for IBIT, just 0.1% to go here after starting the day pretty negative. 94,000, definitely a thing here for Bitcoin. Inflows, however, huge last week at the end of the week as well. 2.5 billion overall, but 442 million going into the weekend. So buyers back with full force here, it would appear.
We're almost at 95.3, Brendo. Yeah. So maybe I'll get out of that bet that I've got with Joe. We'll have to wait and see there. No, I'm kidding. It doesn't look good for me here. Again? 125,000 right. by May 25th.
Okay, you got time.
So I've lost.
You got
it's
time.
Okay. Yeah,
no, you got time.
That's okay. So guys, Bitcoin has erased. If you can show the chart, all 18% decline, and it's now up over 1.5% year to date as of right now. It's positioned kind of between gold's 24% gain on the year and NASDAQ's minus 7% decline. So you can kind of see it's in the middle ground. It's neither following the NASDAQ nor really following gold, but some analysts now are saying the 30-day correlation with gold is actually indicating a strong positive alignment, 0.7 on their scale, whereas with the NASDAQ, it's down to 0.53, suggesting weak ties with tech stocks. So we'll have to keep an eye out on that. It's leaning more slightly towards digital gold than a leveraged tech proxy. And Bitcoin rose about 10% last week, its best weekly gain since the post-election rally back in November of last year, Brendo.
Yeah, trying to make it 3 in a row here, guys, for IBIT.
Yeah, I mean, I love IBIT today. I mean, I actually have it here on the note today, 54.25. Like, if we could get 54.25, that's just a pullback for IBIT. I mean, we're right here, right now. So we are starting to get a little bit of a move back in for that name. And I was just, it's not even a move, really. It's right where it is. We were just up here to 54.50 when we were sort of writing it. I'm just thinking about some of those lows and some of these areas that we had seen on Friday. Like, I like the fact that we're holding out for 95,000. I mean, we can show you the Bitcoin chart. There's going to be lots of stuff. I'm sure Obi has a chart with many, many lines on it or something. But yeah, Bitcoin's been really holding out here. I'm going to just refresh this just to make sure we got the right levels. But there's 95. It seems like we want to hold this area. Really, the bottom would be, I mean, 95 is kind of where we're trying to break out. We're trying to break out through that 95.5, but just on the strong momentum that we've been having lately. You just mentioned the best week since post-election. So this looks pretty strong to me. I mean, we have bounced our head off of here a couple times, and to the point where once we broke it, that did kind of start that downside move. But this level right there is 95, 96,000, sort of where this line is right there. I mean, we can zoom in and, you know, get exactly figuring out what's going on. That top right there, 90, yeah. So 95.9 is sort of that top that we're looking at. So I just look at it and say, hey, if we're going to hold anywhere around here, and this is not to say that this is going to be the absolute bottom for IBIT. I mean, I'm not in it right now, but this momentum, and remember, this is not a 24-hour product such as Bitcoin is. So there's going to be ups and downs through here. But now that we're going to be open up very soon, this 54 looks like a good bottom. So I think you could start the bidding almost right away as soon as this market opens up. I like the strength. I think we can hold right into here. We're at the 200 period moving average. If you sort of zoom back out a little bit, you take a 5-minute chart, sure, there is room to drop down. But this move right into here that was bought up, like, this is where you want to stop out, in my opinion, and it's at the 200 period, so 53.80. So I think you want to take enough shares that you can have a decent winner, but at the same time, you're only going to try to hold this maybe 30 or 40 cents against you. So I like the moves from last week. Let's see if we can bang that, catch that off there, and maybe catch a nice little rip here into the afternoon, something you can probably hold all day. IBIT down right now, but remember, it's just flowing from Friday's close.
Yeah, I think again, I'm watching Bitcoin as well. It's coming back into that 100K. Do I like Bitcoin a lot? Maybe I bit. But 95, I see Derek caught that one. I like that. 95,000. We're back there again. 100K. We were talking about 100K orbit just a few weeks ago, or a couple months ago there, and that's what we kind of did. We broke below it. But something interesting I want to point out here, Sean, is I think that 70,000 breakout, this breakout of this consolidation that came in with some volume, that's kind of what I was watching over the past couple of months here. And you can see, when you throw up an anchor, now, sure, it doesn't have as many lines as my Nvidia chart, because I don't think there are certain events that I do want to anchor to. And I think this breakout that happened here was pretty significant in my opinion for a short-term kind of action there. And you can see we tried to hold that for a bit, and look at what happens when we distinctly kind of sell. Sure, we got a bit of a shake and bake, pulls aggressive selling off of that breakdown, comes right back in, and look, supply kind of brings us right back in as well. But we're trading back above that level, so maybe some more consolidation here as higher prices are accepted once again on Bitcoin. 95s again, with the market being as strong as it is. Let's see if Bitcoin can break that 109, then yeah, maybe that 125 might be on the horizon, Sharif. And I don't know if it's going to happen before the 25th of May, but we'll see. I'm going to be watching for that continuation, yeah.
We just mentioned about going up 10%. You get another 10% onto this, and you're getting a little bit close. Is it the 125 it needs to get to? Is that what it is, or just break highs?
Yeah.
125. Okay, well maybe
We might break on this,
maybe June 30th then, but we'll wait to see. So, all right, man. Only 4 minutes left. We actually got to get going.
Boy.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Sure.
Yeah. Let's go to Weebull here. Giving back some of this move, but still up 6% off of a decent move after the close. If you zoom in here, it was after the close on Friday. Got a huge pop on this. 20F was filed. It was literally 4:05 on Friday afternoon. Had 3 years worth of financial results in that 20F filing. So better than expected across the board, it would appear, although we're giving some back here.
170 pages, Brendo. That's how long this 20F is. So if you're interested and you're going to invest in the company, there it is. It's available for you online. Separately, this came in at 9 o'clock. Weebull Canada launches options level 1, and level 2 from cash accounts and advanced other order types. Not a bad look. It's already up 5 2/3 here, but you can kind of see that V-shaped retracement, Brendo, since we got to that $80 level.
Yeah, again, pretty light on the volume side of things, but decent move here anyways, guys.
What a beautiful reversion. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
go for it, because I'm trying to get set up for Big Bear AI over
Yeah,
here.
no worries. I'm looking at this chart. I'm like, I was there for the IPO. Kind of watched this one, watched this one move around. Day 2 was when it definitely got on my radar with that aggressive push all the way up to 80s. But yeah, haven't really looked at it for the past week or so. And oh boy, what a beautiful kind of reversion after that initial bid steps off. Yeah, that bull definitely came in hot out the gates, but I got a little maybe a little corralled here, back down to the downside, trading below $20 now, stepping down. So I guess congrats to anybody who sold options on that day 2, coming in very, very beautifully here. But yeah, swing short as well, coming in real nice. Let's see if we see more of the same, right? That accelerated selling has definitely slowed down a bit coming into the end of last week. Again, maybe that has something to do with market being strong as well. I have no idea, but day 1 lows are at $9.55. We're at $18 right now from a high, all the way back down from a high of 80. Has this one settled down, Sean? Where can we look to potentially position this one, or do you feel like it's gonna crack even lower?
Weebull?
Yeah.
I think you did a good job. Let's go talk about BBAI. We only have 2 minutes.
All right, let's go.
Very quick, yeah, no, good point. BBAI back to the upside here after a decent move on Friday with manufacturing and production platform about to get a rollout here for this company.
Yeah, so here's the headline. There's a Panama 2025 forum to discuss the future of supply chain security. The company's participating in that. The forum will be held on already passed April 25th, it says here, focusing on advanced supply chain security collaboration. Key executives from Big Bear are obviously already have participated. The strategic goal here is to foster stronger global cooperation on supply chain protection amid these global rising political uncertainty, Brenda.
Yeah, huge interest on Friday. Have a look at the volume. We'll see if we get some follow through here. Sean, what are your thoughts?
So 23% short float. It's on our note here today. And again, just rolling out new software. Astral USA, a major U.S. shipbuilder, now using their software for manufacturing, planning, and production. So, it's just, I just like proof of concept, right? I mean, if you can get the word out there, obviously some of these conferences not hurting either. The more we talk about big data and the more we talk about planning and structuring and getting more cost efficient, numbers don't lie. And if Big Bear AI can prove that they can save you some money and make things more efficient, then that's what Palantir's been doing as well in the AI space. So I really think that thank you, Randy, that this Big Bear AI is a great opportunity here to get going through the 50-period moving average. We're finally back in and around the money now at $4. Let's see if we can climb even higher. I love the 22% short float. I love the smiley face. I like that we're starting to ramp up here. We're above that 350, and this is the area of buy for me. So, we've come back in. We did touch near $4, but we'll see if we can hold this 350 area. It's a buy. I'm already bidding 370. I'm bidding 355, and we'll see if we can hold that. I'm also with that right now with 1 minute to go. Let's have a quick look at these imbalances, Obi, and they're all bids today, but there's nothing that's too exciting on here. We do have one sell there, Nokia, right there, so that must be Drake selling off some of that. Then we have Big Bear AI, Pfizer, HIMS is a good one that we always talk about. QBTS on the quantum name. And other than that, man, Boeing was a nice story today as well. A nice bid, but we do have less than 1 minute now. That's not Boeing, that's Big Bear AI still. I wanted to see what Boeing was up today. Yeah, so 3% with a bid underneath it as Boeing keeps on
going.
There we go. So, yeah, it was too easy there. I had to pass that one off, obviously. It looks like Boeing could take out this top of 186, man. That looks really good there as well. All right, with only 25 seconds left,
here we go.
maybe it's Sharif. I don't know who's going to be on the bell today. Maybe it's, okay, yeah, there it is. No, there goes Sharif. Let's go with only 10 seconds left right now. We do want to make sure that VinFast is represented here on our opening bell. So thank you to VinFast as we go. And there's Adara. Thank you, Adara, for ringing the bell with its black suit today. That looks nice. Neutral, 3, 2, 1, let's go. All right, thank you, Adara. We are now open. Thank you for that one. And here comes Big Bear into 370, 375. Palantir dropping like it's hot a little bit right now. And we were going to bid 113.20. I was bidding 113.20. It gets down to 113.25, but it looks like that story is not over. It's only 10 seconds in. So there's a nice little drop down for Palantir early, OB. And I'm going to actually back away a little bit from that initial drop down and see if we want to play with this one. We wrote down 111.50. You know what? Let me take it just small there at 113.25 and see if it holds. There it is. We got it. So now we're long right here off the 200 period moving average. Probably a little early on this trade as we've seen Palantir do these moves, but we know it can also get going again. So let's drop out of this one. You know, if we lose out here around this 112.50 area, then we'll drop out of Palantir and then see what we can do with this one a little later if we do continue to fall back in. So early position right now for me is a long right now in Palantir.
Yeah, kind of just being a little patient here, watching that Tesla, watching that Google to see what it does. Remember, we talked about that Tesla, that 290 area. So let me pull that up. This is not the right tape here. Let me pull up the Tesla tape. So still trading around 290s, looking for that push up. Let's see if there's any distinct kind of action there. I'm willing to kind of sit back. There's some size on the ask there. Maybe, yeah, the book getting a little bit choppy there as we break through that 290. I think last week's high on Tesla. Where are you at, Tesla? Last week's high, we're already trading above that, Sean. Last week's high was 286.80. So again, the idea was, if you look back at the chart on Tesla, there may or may not have been a little bit of supply here in the low 290s. I'm just looking to see if we can pass through that, see if we get a little bit of a pullback. Maybe that supply does come in, and here it is, supply coming in pretty aggressively. So 290s all the way down to 287s currently. But yeah, last week I found, Sean, that if I got a little stubborn with the shorting, that grinding bid took me out more often than not. So I'm looking to see if that bid shows up sometime during this morning session. Sure, we're getting a little bit of selling on some of these names right off of the open. I'm watching Nvidia. I'm watching the Spider. Spider at its highs. Intel above 20, SMCI as well, and Sean's in 3 positions right here.
I'm just rolling what we're doing. Yeah. I mean, this is a sticky note right here. So we're already into Palantir. We're out of 40% already. We've got 2 fills at 60, 1 fill up there at 90 for 113. So that was a good trade so far, so good there. And we're rolling into IBIT, right? So let's go Bitcoins. Let's see if we can get, where's my guy over there? What's up, Joe? Let's see if we can get a money storm right now on BTC, trying to create this action. So we're long at $54 right now on that one. And the biggest of bears right now is sleeping for sure. Big Bear AI, we're long right now at 370 as it just pulled back in there. We were looking for 350. We had written down on our note that we wanted between 350 and 370. So we'll write those down. But the market's coming in. So we don't, I think sitting on the hands obviously is always going to be a strategy. But there's a little bit of a reload for Palantir. If this breaks 1250, we're out. And then we'll just wait for our 1150. We're not putting on huge risk here early as the market's falling down. And we had such a successful week. We just talked about that. There it goes. We had the big week last week, the best week since second best week since post-election. So let's just post them alone and wait to see if we can get a little bit of a lower bid here. 111.50 coming in for Palantir. So we'll drop it. Again, small hit on that one because we did take some profit, but we will be down on that trade. And everything else is doing nothing. So we'll have to wait for IBIT. But Palantir is making that move lower. So that's good for the bid that we're eventually looking for. I don't know.
Yeah,
we knew this open would be a little like this, I feel like.
Yeah, I think so. Again, I'm looking for this this action to settle down here. Give me a little bit of direction. Again, I had some long written plans for this morning, and not all of them necessarily happen right off of the open, right? A lot of the stuff I'm looking for things happening maybe after the first 15-minute session, or even during the mid or late day. We've been seeing some pretty decent continuations as well. But before we get more into that, let's see what Adair has to say.
Small caps moving around this morning, as is pretty typical. We have GLMD. This is Galmed. This company with about a 2 million share float, signing a term sheet for the development of a novel semaglutide sublingual formulation. We know anything involving semaglutide has been a pretty good look here for this market, anything in that kind of weight loss space. So GLMD with a 2 million share float on watch. RGTI, Rigetti, was also popping up in volume. And just to let you guys know, I'm not seeing any economic data prints expected at 9:45 or 10 a.m. So pretty light morning when it comes to numbers. Back to you.
Very much.
All right. So Palantir is actually holding that level there. So we'll have to wait to see. We do have a new position now. It's going to be the futures. Looking to get a little bit more down there. I just bid. Did we not get that, Phil? Oh yeah, we did. We just got it. Okay, so there it is. So we are now long into the futures trade right now. Yeah, Tesla, good look over there from my guy Joe, is starting to go as well. So we are long into the futures. Oops, that's TQQ. I just typed that in twice. There's Tesla. I was just looking at it as well. We had written down, guys, and I'm bidding 285. So I'm bidding down 285 right now. I put that bid in there. It's sitting in the platform. It just never got filled. So I'm down there bidding 285.25. We missed that by about $1. Now you're up to 292 and change. But oh boy, Obi, we are now starting to go. Look at Palantir. Damn you, Palantir. You did it to me, my guy. But here goes a nice little upside move right now for the futures. So we'll take some out here as we start to climb back up. We're green on the day now with this futures trade, but looks like we might have nailed the bottom again on Palantir and nailed it the wrong way. So let's get some more out here. Futures, nice bounce back up into the 200 period moving average. So we did just play a little bit of momentum there by cashing out of a little bit, 20% there, but we are starting to fall down. We just got Palantir a lot lower. Look at Palantir, just dropped $1 right there in one. We were just looking at it and saying, oh, well, we missed it. And now we get long at 12.25. All right, well, Palantir's dipping and diving right now. It was just at 13.35, and I just got filled at 12.25. So right now, these longs somewhat in question here, Obi, as we bounce around VWAP. There, so at least you're long with me, man. And there it is. We should not have affected that poll because now the poll is clearly Amazon, and you're in Amazon. Let's see if Palantir can go. Let's see if the futures can go. Here we go. Let's go, Alex. Let's see if we get this bid back going to the upside now. Tell the people why you liked Amazon, Obi.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was kind of watching it again, watching a few of the other tickers here. Now, Amazon not necessarily part of one of my main plans. Wow, there goes Nvidia through that 109, Sean. So
really,
yeah. We're trading below.
I love that 110 short.
Yeah, 110 short was pretty nice there. So
was
definitely a good area to keep eyes on.
Oh no, Obi.
Oh boy. Not. Yeah. Would you look at that? Would you just take a look at it?
We take everything else on our list.
Oh boy. But yeah, no, Amazon, again, I don't know. This could go both ways as of right now. Let's see what happens here as the market kind of comes back into this trend we've been doing here since this morning session here. Let's see if we crack that. Wow, that's some aggressive selling here on Nvidia. What else is selling is the question. Tesla's holding up pretty well. Amazon is selling off as well, but we are trading a little bit above current lows. Alphabet near its lows, 161. So last week's earnings day low, 161.04. Current day low, 161.36. So let's see if that can potentially come in. I'm looking for that continuation to see if that selling all day that happened on Google day one earnings is going to continue on Google day two. And this market is definitely giving us a little bit of tailwind right off of the open. Let's see if we get that continuation here. Amazon coming right back up into VWAP here. VWAP's at 189.20. 24. So normally I take a reversion to VWAP, Sean, and the trade right now has shown me that it's kind of reverted to VWAP, pretty close. 189.24. We're trading just shy of 189s as the market sells off. Amazon holding a little bit relatively strong. Oh boy, that Google short, man. That Google short is potentially coming in here. And that 110, you're definitely right on the nose with that one. That was a great place to watch. Intel to the upside as well. Wow, there's 189 on Amazon. So here we go. Let's see if we can get that continuation coming in to this morning here. Hopefully you guys have had some solid looks there. Wow, another one I had on watch and a missed trade on my part was Comcast. CMCSA.
Yeah, okay.
Today is earnings day 3. Day 1, they did well. Day 2, just a grinding bid. You know, no one's really watching it, and it's kind of doing its thing, but I got eyes on it because I was like, it did some pretty strong action on day 1 and day 2, and right off of the open today, if I pull up a chart for you guys will see what a beautiful continuation on Comcast. Casting a bid to the upside right here on CMCSA right now. 34.20s is the day high. Look at that aggressive action. So this is what I mean. Earnings day 1, the dip gets bought up. We grind and we trade to near day highs and close in and around there. Day 2, nice slow grinding bid as well, holding that VWAP multiple times in the morning and midday session, closing near the highs, and look at that continuation coming into the day as of right now. So absolutely beautiful continuation on CMCSA. Missed that one there. Wasn't really one of my top ideas, but it is one of them for sure. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. And it seems like another thing that's being hit here is the ask as tickers kind of push right back up. 19.5 is holding here on the NASDAQ. Let's see if we can consolidate on Amazon. Oh boy, a little bit of continuation. Wow, Intel's really strong coming in off of the open as well. So let me know what you guys are watching. I'm being as focused as I can on my planned trades. Amazon was not necessarily my planned trade, but I got a little lucky on that one there. Already pushing back up into that 190, almost that 190, 189 halves as of right now. So where was that VWAP again? I got to pull that back up. So VWAP's in and around 189.22. So since we did get to VWAP, I gotta follow a little bit of my rules here and take off a little bit as of right now. Boy. So let me just take off a little bit. Again, didn't really have any significant size on that one because wasn't necessarily a planned trade, but it happens to work out. Gives us a point right off the first.
You got $1?
Yeah,
let's go.
$1. We're in the club early today.
We're in the club together.
Let's go.
You know, what's your favorite club music? This is why you're my guy. This is why you're my guy right here. Palantir, what was your question?
What's your favorite club music?
My favorite club music?
Yeah.
Pop.
Hip hop?
Yeah.
Like
I don't know. What do you mean?
You got a specific artist? I mean, hip hop's pretty broad. You got a specific.
Well, I mean, I haven't been to the club in a minute, but just hold on a second. We will get to that right now. I like Baby Shark. You ever heard of that remix?
Yeah. When that drop comes in, that's fire.
It's fire. You got to hit the drop. If the drop doesn't come in, you just go nuts.
Oh yeah.
But there it is, man. It's Palantir. We'll say what's up to our good friend Max. What's up, Max? He's just chilling out. Pick me up, Max, in that Lambo, my guy. But there it goes right there. We have the TQs. We have Palantir. Look at this. Will you take a look at that? Sometimes we just got to wait around a little bit, Obi, and there we go. We nail that bottom. This is now $1.20 in the money. And we take a look at that too, because the futures, oh boy. Nice upside move right there on the NASDAQ. So we trade the TQQs right there. It's a nice move as we are hella red, hella green right now today. We were red. Our first trade did put us obviously red. We talked about getting out of that Palantir. Let's go futures. Wow, what a nice bottom pick right there on the TQQs. We have the bottom of the day on the NASDAQ. So, I mean, be patient, wait for it. We wrote it down. We talked about liking some of these levels. We looked at Big Bear AI. We'll talk about that in a minute, around 5 cents. But oh boy, there goes the NASDAQ. There goes Palantir. We have Banger Alert Central, man. This is what's going on. It's Obi. It's myself. We're giving you the best show possible, and it's the Banger Show today. Great job there on Amazon. I have no idea how high it is right now because we are flying on the NASDAQ, and we're flying right now on Palantir, and we also have other names. Let's just not talk about only Mag 7 names. I'm going to get another piece out of Palantir, although Palantir is not Mag 7, of course, but the TQs. We have IBIT, and this is going the other way. So, It's not going up here for Bitcoin. We've broken that 95K. So that's sort of broken my heart a little bit because we were looking to get triple winners on. We'll see if we can still have that right now, triple sevens. We were bidding the very bottom there. I have 54.80 was that bottom, so we were looking at that. And unfortunately, somehow we missed that down there at 54.80. So we'll see if we can get that back again down there. Oh, sorry, 53.80. What am I talking about? We're at 53.80. So it must have bounced completely off of our level. I did take some there at 87. I'm waiting for a little bit more if that can come back in. But right now, nice downside push into 53.80. That's what we're looking at right now. We have the Dow futures up 293 points. The Dow up, NASDAQ up, S&P up, futures up. We are ripping this day today, Obi, man. I hope you have a decent size on there because so far so good. No? No, okay, well, it's okay. I don't have my largest trade. I don't have my largest on either.
Like I said, I wasn't expecting it, right? I wasn't expecting it to happen, so I'm like, all right. What? Like I have a. So here's the thing. I started keeping it pretty simple, Sean. I'm like, is it a C trade? Is it a B trade? Is it an unplanned trade? If it's an unplanned trade, right away, like I'm gonna default to C size, unless and until it gives me more reason to get in, right? So if it can turn from a C to a B, so all I do is like, all right, I know how much I want to risk during the day, given a single ticker. So I have a calculator that I made on Google Sheets. So I just type in. So the first thing I did, Amazon was not part of my morning plan. We can go through my morning plans in a few minutes there. I just like the first half hour to go by before kind of sharing that. But yeah, so Amazon was not part of it. So I took C size. It happened to work. That's perfectly fine. I don't really care. Next trade is what I'm looking for as of right now. But this trend is holding pretty strong. But 190 coming in here. So opening range highs on Amazon. That candle coming in right off of the open was pretty quadunky. If that's a word there?
No, it's not.
So it's not. So all right. So maybe word of the day now. But
new word of the day. Yeah, we got to get on
190.
Get that in that dictionary, my guys.
Yeah, 190.20s is the day high on Amazon. We've reverted over 50% of this opening candle here, and it seems like the bid is catching on here. That 19.5. Look at that wick on the market there. Oh boy, Sean. So not only did Amazon bid up nicely, that trade came in here on the futures as well. And I've said this multiple times, Sean, maybe I should just trade the futures. But you know what? The trade is a trade. I saw it happening on.
Man. Get off my back.
I saw it happening on. Yeah, you got the TQs. That's solid. You got the lows at the TQs.
We're
that's
$1 in the money on the
entry.
TQs right
That's
here.
wild.
Yeah, man. We have the low of the day on the NASDAQ. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Obi and I over here, man. Shinobi. You played that game before?
Shinobi? No.
We're slicing up the market.
Shinobi. I know what Shinobi is, but I've never played the game.
You know what else is better than $1?
$2. You say you haven't been to the club, but Sean, I see you there every day.
That's right. Very valid point. Valid point.
Come on.
But this music here, sweet chin music sometimes, when it hits you right in the face.
Range high is technically a trade.
Yeah, no, it's, but that EDM vibe, like it's not, when you're in the club, it's a completely different vibe.
Yeah.
Like when I'm cruising home, blah, 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 I like to listen to. I mean, we've already gotten some hate on this one. Recently because of the way, sports is back on, I have trophies in my head with Drake.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just like, and it's been great. So, I'm feeling some of that. And then, who's calling my phone right now? I don't know if Nokia's been blasting in my car for a little bit, as well as there. But yeah, I mean, give it up to Obi right here. Just nothing but good vibes one more time here today. We've got, it's banger central on right now. If you're following either one of us right here, this is the TQs, man. We're not playing around. Our styles are completely different. Neil's style is different. Everyone completely different style. But at the end of the day, the only style that really matters is if you're able to put some of this in your pocket. And right now, iBid is not putting that. Okay, we're right back here. I'm at 53.80, but you know what? I'm bidding with NASDAQ Gateway. So I don't know why I have to get run over to get this fill. So let's go to the downside. Just give me this right here. I am going to get stopped out. We got to talk about our stop outs. There it is. just as much as we talk about our wins. I mean, if things go bad, then we got to get out before they go real bad, right? And so let's just figure out, like Meek Mill, if this dream turns into a nightmare, then we're going to have to get out. So 53.65, that's that wick bottom right there. If Bitcoin turns on its head, and remember what we said earlier, when everybody likes something, sometimes it's kind of the opposite. So I'm going to put my order in right now, 53.64 there. Crypto was really going early, or not, I mean, it wasn't really going at all today. I got excited because I thought 95 could hold. It doesn't look like it wants to, but there goes IBIT. Big Bear AI, the one that we sort of left sleeping a little bit. That's crazy. I'm bidding 55s. And again, it comes down and misses. So I'm going to go on gateways that I don't need to worry about. Like, so that what I mean by that is gateways where I can just get the fill if it comes down to it, and I don't have to stand in line. So we're gonna wait on an Edge A or a BYX or something like that to take a fill now at 55, because we should have we would have had that average in, and we'd be in a profitable position right now if we did have that, but we do miss our fill. So yeah, nice upside move. There's no economic numbers today, I do not believe. So we're not waiting for anything at 10 or anything like that. So let's let this market kind of just chill out. OMEX was also a mover here earlier. So shout out to everybody trading. Is this Odyssey? Is that the same thing from last week? Right there, Odyssey Marines. Oh boy. Right here, OMEX. Is something going on over there?
Yeah, so I think something just came into the market. I saw it on the tape before. Again, I saw it across the board and the futures dump. So there's definitely something out. So I'm like, all right, that's a reason to get out of my trade as of right now as well. It hit. Not only does it come back in and break the short-term uptrend that Amazon kind of had there. I did add into the 190 looking for that consolidation, but let's see. Maybe it kind of comes right back into trend and then catches a bid once again. But we shall see that selling coming in pretty aggressively there as well. So not only a trend break, a little bit of confirmation of tape coming in across the board. There you go. There's that prior bar break happening on the 3-minute as well on Amazon. So that's, again, another confluencing reason to get out. But I say this all the time, came in on the tape before we got the news and before the confirmation as well. So tape is definitely, or price action is definitely king.
It's the best
here. But yeah, you can always see it first happening on the tape, and I think I heard a call for Adara, but I didn't hear anything in my ear. Just
yeah, she's saying the news is
there's no news.
No news right now. So yeah, we're not expecting anything to hit necessarily right away here. Today we do wait for Scott Bessent or anybody talking tariff related issues.
It'll come out soon enough,
as it seems to be an issue moving forward. So there we go. We finally get our Big Bear AI down there at 355, and our stop is going to be a 340 break. So if this market gets worse and we do continue to go down, then we will, detail that. We were out of some more here on Are we going to throw to her, Fabian? Okay. Let's go over to Adara.
Story, but we do have an interesting, I guess, confluence of events here. So right when we get that market drop, I just checked Truth Social, Donald Trump posted. We've noticed here that the algos seem to be very active around his Truth Social post. This happens once again here. Donald Trump posting 2 minutes ago around when we got that move in the market. All he's saying is that he's going to be having some event in Warren, Michigan tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. So again, nothing that would seem market related on its face, but we know algos do seem to be tracking the Trump Truth Social posts. One comes out, the market drops, no news. And again, this post not at all market related on its face. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Adara. This is what I was just saying to Obi. It's so hard to size up sometimes, especially in this market, because you never know when that flush is incoming, and next thing you know, you're getting run over on a position that was quite a nice one, and all of a sudden it ain't. This OMEX, shout out to everybody trading Odyssey again today. Nice breakthrough 170 there early. I mean, it happens in the pre-market, but then right off the open, we bump, right? And so boom, nice shot up there into 210 again. And we always try to zoom out. I thought we looked at this level. I think there was a $4 mark on this, or maybe not. Yeah, there. Okay, yeah. So sometimes it's like we got numbers sometimes okay in our head, and there it is, $4. So I think this thing could still fly. I mean, that's 340, 350 right there for our OMEX, Odyssey Marine, going upside as well. I do hear Adara in our ear still. there, Fabian. So just a heads up on that one. No problem, though. All right, so WW, the world of Weight Watchers, falls off of that 50-cent mark, which again comes right into play right there, Obi. So, I mean, you have to sometimes zoom out and have a quick look at some of these names. I still like it for a tall break. We had a move on WW at the end of the day on Friday. Neil and I were sort of staring at that, looking at it, didn't really trade it, but that's a good dip buy opportunity. You're now underneath the 200 period moving average, so let's see it climb. I don't know if it's a good dip opportunity now, but it's climbing back through the 200 is what we look for, and then back up. And then this name was, they were saying that they didn't think that bankruptcy was going to be in the cards, so watch out for news stories here about Weight Watchers, WW International, trying to move around. Don't ever, I mean, I like what you saw that move there in Amazon and flew the coup there. Yeah. That was a good play. I mean, when we saw Palantir, we're talking about the club, you got to take some out, man. That's $2 at the high of the day. Then we take some out on the 50 period. It just bumps right back up into 114 again. So I'm going to put an offer in and around that area for PLTR in and around 114 and change. I'm already at 114.20. So let's just wait for that. If it comes back up, fine. We'll let it fly. We're actually only in about 15% of this, so we're pretty light. We are still in our full position though for Big Bear. Oops, that's not Big Bear AI. That's the warrants. Big Bear AI right now. If this one drops below 340, we're going to give this one a little bit more room, okay? Because a lot of these low cap runners right now just aren't running. So I don't want to get out on this kind of a move. When we planned, we said 370 to 355. We're just at the bottom of the range. So I was actually, going to drop this down and see if we can break through 340 right there with my next buy at 345. I'm just going to take 3 shots at this and just average it in. And if we lose, we lose. I think it's well in the realm here for Big Bear AI to get going at some point. So if it does happen, I want to be in the trade. And we have our first red stock today. Crypto, it just didn't hold. Didn't hold the bid. We're green on the day, but red there on crypto, not holding that bid. I'm going to switch this over to the magnet because this doesn't seem to be.
I like the magnet a lot better. I think it's a little bit more versatile. Yeah. So coming right back in here, so breaking some trends, NASDAQ and the ES. Look at that, almost, well, more than a 50% reversion on the ES, almost 100% reversion of the initial candle. So we're wiping pretty much the opening range back down on the spider there. Let's see if that 19.5 acts as a little bit of support on the NASDAQ, or do we trade below it and crack that as well? So I got eyes on there. So strong reasons to sell on Amazon coming into that one off that 190, and oh boy, I was just thinking about maybe flipping short there at VWAP. But again, you were talking about the reason like I punched out right away. And something I've been trying to get better with, Sean, is like I got in because of the tape read, right? And then all of a sudden I see some very strong tape. So right away I'm like, all right, the initial reason for me to get long was that sellers kind of, they stopped, buyers stepped in, and all of a sudden you see that selling kind of comes in just as aggressively. So that reason to be in the trade is now all of a sudden no longer there, right? Because it was a tape scalp. The reason to get in is no longer there, nor the reason for the trade is no longer there. I got a little lucky getting out of that or selling at that area, but oh boy, was it a great place to short, because the market's coming right back in. So let's take a quick look across the board to see what other names are potentially coming in here. But I'm going to start off with a little bit of my watch list there. Remember, we talked about that Tesla having potential supply zone in the low 290s. Guess where it makes the high, Sean? Current high, 294.85. 294.85. Oh boy. So that is definitely coming in, and we have market tailwind giving us that confluence. So the question now becomes, what is the likelihood of Tesla holding VWAP as resistance and trading below its first opening 15-minute opening range low on Tesla? No idea if that's going to happen, but we're definitely getting some of that market tailwind. Again, we talk about that grinding bid that came in on Thursday and Friday. A little bit of, I guess, I wouldn't say it was a light volume push, but that grinding bid kind of comes in, and now some selling coming in to open us up on the week. So some beautiful price action, nonetheless. Netflix, another thing that I noticed as well, Sean, Netflix had been breaking day highs almost back to back every day. So today I watched it. Netflix pretty much false broke last week's high. Like boom, wick, slams right in. One of the first ones to sell off before the rest of the market. So maybe that was a bit of an indicator there. So I was watching that, and that maybe poised, set me up a little bit more poised to kind of be like, all right, if we do start to sell on anything else, I want to get out as aggressively as possible. And that Amazon sell coming in really nicely here. But I want to show you guys Netflix, NFLX. Here we go. There's the day. There's the day low getting taken out on the Nasdaq. But look at that wicks. The wicks of last week's high right off of the open there. This is a 3-minute chart. So Netflix, one of the strongest tickers in the market, giving us a bit of an indication of potential direction right off of the open there. So absolutely beautiful. I know a lot of people like to use other indicators as well, but I like using the action on the Mag 7s as well, maybe to give us some direction. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I have no idea what I'm doing is what I'll preface that with. But yeah, coming in with a bit of a sell here, some follow through happening. Oh boy. Amazon back through day low, so that stop order, yeah, well, that's all right. So it's beautiful, beautiful stuff there. Missed trades on my part, but my question, Sean, is where is the next trade? And I forget who said it in the chat earlier. You got to be nimble in these markets, and yeah, some aggressive selling action. Guess what? I'm looking for the reversion. No sign of buyers just yet.
There's no surprise with that one. Yeah, I'm trying to revert that right now on the TQs. So we just bought this dip right here into that low, and we're going to get out if this breaks, and it will turn us red on the futures if we break 53.20. Just looking at this bottom right there from Friday. So yeah, the market has come back in. We're long here at 53s, so we're out of the money right now, 15 cents on this play. But yeah, it's definitely not great. And oh boy, look what just happened to Tesla. Tesla fall down $10 right into our 385 area. So if this breaks through, 285, if this breaks through 284, we're going to get out of this one as well. So 283.99. I just don't want to have too many losers on board because we're already average into the futures. Now let's see if Tesla can go boom here in the night with this 285.25 long. So 40 cents in the money now, but whatever, man. We're trying to get this at least back to 287 right there. All right, Adair, give us, are we ready to go? Yep, there it is happening now.
I think this 15-minute candle here on the S&P 500 really says it all. We go from green to red in one very long extended 15-minute candle sell-off. NASDAQ looking pretty similar here as well. So any goodwill the market had earlier today looks like it's kind of drifting off here. We had some comments this morning once again here from Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent saying that once again, China needs to de-escalate trade first. They're really going to have to, I guess, put the steps on the table here. It's also worth noting that Scott Bessent actually said that the big market move from comments he made on Tuesday with regards to de-escalation, he was completely unprepared for. They were comments he's been making routinely. So interesting comments there coming from Scott Bessent this morning on CNBC. Here is Weebull. This one initially looking pretty strong, especially post-market on Friday, but giving up a lot of that move. It did basically release its Form 20F for fiscal 2024. Then we've got Meta here, META, one of many names reporting earnings this week, along with fellow Mag 7s, Microsoft, Apple, and Amazon. Then we have NVIDIA basically at day's lows here. We have Wall Street Journal reporting that Huawei out of China is developing an AI chip to challenge the company. So a lot of these semiconductor names weaker on that story. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Back to the guys.
Thank you very much, Dara.
I'm going to try to get back into
We were just talking about, yeah, that Tesla was a trade, man. We talk about that low 190s being supply, and as of right now, supply definitely is very dominant off of that area. But we're all the way back down to 280s, and I see that Sean is attempting the long there. I like that, but let's see how far this market goes. That was an aggressive drop, a little bit extended to the downside here. But again, I want to be a little bit patient here. I'm watching Amazon because I was involved in it, but again, I'm watching other names as well. My top kind of watch list names for today, I can name them out. Tesla, MRK, Netflix, Intuit, Alphabet, Intel, Comcast, and T-Mobile were my top 8 ones. There are others as well. I had a long list of tickers this morning, and I guess a lot of, not a lot, but like a few if-thens as well, some simple if-thens. So we can kind of look, I'll go over the one I had on Tesla because a bit of a missed trade, and that trade is kind of off off the board as of right now. Yeah, let me just do that and bring this in right here. So I got to make sure the language here is acceptable. Okay, we're good. All right, so so morning trade plan. So I come in 9 o'clock. I'm like, all right, the VIX is at 25.28. So something I've been doing, Sean, every day is like, all right, we know the VIX has been moving around. So every day I come in, I'm like, all right, what's the VIX at today? So that gives me an idea of every day, are we kind of trending up or trending down? The VIX has been kind of slowly bleeding back down. So I understand that, and I'm kind of keeping that in mind as well. We talk about the past 2 days of grinding that I mentioned earlier here. So here we go, right here. So Tesla, this is the plan for Tesla that I had. Tesla, I'll just read this out. Tesla breaking out on increasing volume. Recently, there was supply in the low 290s.
Holy shit, dude.
Look here to measure sentiment. What's going on?
Oh, Palantir's almost $1 in the money. We have big time shares, but keep going.
Palantir, that one is absolutely crazy, man. All right, so I got 2 if-then statements here, so nothing too crazy. I said if we hold above 294.50, which is a bit of a level for me, look for a long using trend breaks and VWAP holds to get long and judge it based on the trends. Very simple idea, and I have an execution set for that. And then the other if statement, if 290 to 295 level holds as a supply zone, look for uptrend breaks to get involved if sellers are obvious and have taken an obvious charge and are stepping it down. Market tailwind is important as well here. So one of those definitely worked out. That 290 to 295 is showing up as a bit of a supply zone. Did I take that trade? $2. It was one of my top ideas on the day, and unfortunately, I did not take that trade. So the question now becomes, where is the next trade? And I see that Sean,
we just made back our whole day.
Let's go.
Whole day made back now. Green again. Hashtag trading. Now $2 in the money now on Tesla. Look, man, we bought the 285s. We wrote down that we like 285, right? I mean, it's pretty. All I need to do, OB, is exactly what you're doing there. Use logic. Like Palantir 111.50. We're long now at 111.75, and it's $1 in the money, and we are heavy on this trade because it falls right into our lap. We wrote down 111.50. The low of the day for Palantir is 111.60. So, I mean, that's the trade that we have on board. Then there's Tesla 285 long. There's BBAI at 350. So Tesla 285, BBAI 350. Here's Tesla 287. Check. Here's BBAI 350. Whoa, the exact bottom. But we're going to see if we can get going even more on this one. And then, by the way, we never fear. The hell's the point of doing that? If you're going to get into position and you still like it, look, man, we got to take risk off. But once we broke back above here on the TQs, we got right back in. Now, whether or not we have this bottom, I don't know. So we will start to scalp out because, again, we went red, right? We talked about that. We just had a couple bad trades there. We lost on the futures. Like our futures up, averaged in, bang. Bought it back on the break higher there with momentum. So if we can continue to scale this, then let's go. Let's go JP Morgan. What's going on with the financials? 244 for JPM. We like that. That got as high as 247. This is a name that we're in at 231 recently, so we do like that trade. Let's check out some other names for us today. What's going on with Alibaba? Alibaba in the Chinese space heading lower. So that does not seem to get too much love there. We go into the highs of Friday in and around 120 and give back a little bit there on Alibaba. Quick check-in on Odyssey, as that's going to be a big one for many of our viewers. That's pulled back now into 12.50 right now. My eyes are still going up. If there's any other names that you want us to look at, let's go TQQs. I kind of want to hold on to some of these. We have our stops lower. I don't mind going red again on the day. I'm actually beyond looking at the net at this point because I have the plays and I have the size, and if it goes, then we're going to have a huge day, and if it doesn't, man, we'll take the stops. We already know where the stops are, and if they hit, they hit, but we got to take profit when it climbs. I mean, that's sort of the strategy that I'm trying to do right now. Look at Robinhood, $51 all the way up there and then a straight move down. I mean, you're looking at names there like Amazon that fell in. Look at Robinhood. What a good trading vehicle today, right? 49 straight up, futures fall off straight down. So this is going to be almost Just one of those names that if you think the futures are going to battle back up to the highs, this is going to give you a good little return here. Just at $49, you can get back up to here easily. We know there's a lot of steam underneath Robinhood. I mean, it's only up 0.24 while the market is just flashing red right now. I think there's a good chance here for Robinhood to get back going there to the upside. So that's another little look there. My Tesla trade, look, I mean, I like it. It's now, here goes in. $3. It was just $3 in the money on that upside. So I think we'll look to take something out if we can get up to 289. That's 288.50 is the 200 period moving average. Now it's starting to fall back as does the market. The market right there actually bouncing off of 19,520. So that's a level right there as well. I actually have to take this phone call, so take it over.
No worries. While Sean speaks to Powell, I'm going to be watching this Tesla move here. Again, the market is catching a little bit, potentially a little bit of a bid here. Interestingly enough, I was watching Intel as well. Intel day 2 of their earnings. It was SSR coming in on Friday and today. What an aggressive bid that it had right off of the open. Let's take a quick look at that. So again, on Friday, it was a little distinctly different from its other sector counterparts in terms of chips. We got a grinding bid. We talked about that a little bit. And Intel, not really the same, kind of doing its own thing. Again, earnings day 1 might do that to you, but you can see the strong kind of a push to the lows there on the gap down that we had on Intel, coming in, opening up as SSR, catching a very strong bid at that 1930s, 19.5 level-ish. I have that as a little bit of a higher time frame level, and look at that, demand comes right back in, so maybe potentially still acting as a support area, coming in off of the open. Again, we talk about plans right here. I'm gonna go. So shout out to Dan McIsaac in the chat. He's saying, Obi, trust your plan and execute the trade. If you don't take the trade, but your notes call it out, you're second guessing yourself. That's what that's when stop saves you. Yeah, for sure. I 100% right, and I missed out on that one. And again, a little bit not really focused there. On Intel, I had a very simple idea. I was like, earnings day 1, we caught a little bit of a bid, but we sold off. We consolidated in and around VWAP as well. I was heavily involved in this one, and then all I was looking for today was a range break. I was like opening, day 1. Opening range of the event, which is day 1 of earnings. So range break was all I was looking for. I'll pull back my notes here so we can kind of go through specifically what I said or what I wrote down here on my Intel trade plan. And again, man, I got to do a little bit better with following my own trades, and sometimes it's a little difficult doing that while I'm getting a little bit better at it while I'm up here on the show. But again, the trade is the trade. It doesn't matter where you're at. The trade's going to happen with or without you. So right here, earnings day 2, continuation, still SSR. Look for day 1 range break to get involved for continuation and trend. Keep an eye on the sector to look for relativity. So that's, again, very basic, simple idea. And again, in terms of execution, we're looking for range breaks. So we're just looking for the high and the low of the prior day. The prior day's high was 2018. What happened with that price area right off of the open? You can see we made a low. Opening range low is at 2005. Pre-market highs coming in at 2018. So a little bit of a confluence with prior day high to the penny. This is the beautiful thing about Intel. Sometimes it gives you confluence to the penny, and I'm starting to learn that some of that information might be valued, or I should be valuing that information a little bit more than other pieces, which I might be misvaluing as well. But that 18 comes in beautifully, pre-market break, confluencing with that earnings day 1 break. Look at that, 218 makes a high at 21. So beautiful continuation, holding that VWAP as of right now. So let's see if this thing can continue to trend up going forward for the rest of the day. Intel, I'll be watching, keeping a close eye on. But let me know in the chat what you guys are trading. I want to know what your guys' plans are. And TX Traders saying Tesla is very weak. Yeah, I know, man. Tesla, we kind of talked about it. It's coming in off of an area which may have shown us that it was a supply zone, and we're seeing more of the same. So trying to keep it as simple as possible. There is it's funny, Jose in the back, Joseph, he recommended a book for me to read called The Way of the Turtle. You've heard of the turtle traders?
No. Are they slow?
I mean, slow is smooth is fast is something that they definitely, I guess, had a quality of. Yeah, great story of the turtle traders as well. But it's a book about that, and there's a little snippet that I am really kind of echoing with, and we'll go through it maybe later today, or maybe in an hour or so.
Well, an hour or so will be the midday show.
Sorry, yeah, 45.
Joey, like options.
30,
we're
40
not
minutes.
stepping on that
But
guy's toes.
it's really been kind of been on my mind. It kind of talks about, like, throughout the years, it's like huge. Traders can make trading very complicated. We study all these things, we read all these things, we do all this analysis, but at the end of the day, keeping it simple is a huge part of it. And it was talking about how experienced traders over time, they learn that after all of these things that they learn, the most important thing is to keep it simple. Thank you,
Ramin, in a hat.
Global business travel, like that. American Express. What's AXP? Reminds me.
He's trying to think. No, I was trying to think of, like, somebody said hat Ramin over there. I was trying to think of, like, I don't know. Try to put it together, like Shinobi and all this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
like
Joe's getting in there right now with the little puns. But yeah, no, I'd be interested to hear about that too, because I think that is 100% accurate. The more simple you can put down, that, I mean, Obi, that was. I mean, look how simple this is.
Exactly.
I mean, this is what it is.
That's what it boils down to.
And by the way, where the hell are my sticky notes? Like, how long does this take to get from Amazon? Like, sticky notes?
Oh,
wow, we ordered them last Monday.
Oh, okay, damn.
I could have walked to the dollar store probably and picked some up.
Wait,
Joe, shut up, Joe. I mean, I'm just playing.
Ramin just brought these for you.
No, man.
How many ideas are you going to put on that one? You have to be so meticulous.
This is about keeping it as...
Fabian's like, you can put the small caps on there.
Oh, maybe my ear's not on. Okay, just real quick, guys, real quick. BBAI, we're having a lot of fun, and as per usual, man, whenever it's Obi and I or anybody on this show, we love to have a great time. We want to thank everybody for joining us, but it's another time for that club. Yo, what up, Ozan? Come with me to the club, my guy. We're at the highest spot we've been at all day. Palantir's now $1 in the money, and oh boy, it's at the highest spot we've been at since that reload. That's going well. And who called my phone? Palantir and Tesla. Right now, Tesla is another one. Look, man, we nailed that 285. Now it's at 288. We'll take that bid right there. We're $3 in the money on Tesla. Need to get going. Can't stop winning. We cannot stop. No, we can stop winning. We can stop winning immediately. At any time, these trades can stop winning. But at that point, let's just start taking them out. I actually didn't even realize that this 53.80, we do need to take out something right there as that. Okay, go. Oh, damn. Man, we are in some good mood, man. So I was yelling and we had over 50 girls on the diamond there. We had a girls' day for High Park because we're really promoting women in sport and females and all that kind of stuff. My daughter is absolutely everything as far as sports. So my son has played baseball, hockey. He's now doing basketball. So we really do believe in the Katina household, of course, that as much of not just outdoor activity, but socializing, making sure that they're playing those sports, getting off those damn phones as much as possible, and doing something with the kids. So I didn't realize this, but like there was Girls' Day, and of course we promoted that through High Park, and I had to they're like, okay, and let's call up Coach Sean for some words. I didn't have anything planned, but luckily, Obi, talking useless nonsense for many hours on point is something that I tend to do sometimes quite well. We had this great speech there. We put it out. That was a lot of fun. Talk. Then we practiced with the team. Then our Red Sox, which is the High Park Little League Majors team that I coach, actually just assistant coach that team. We had our first exhibition game.
Wow.
We fell 7-3 to the Cubs, though. We got some work to do on that one. But we had a great time. And then it was just so much, like chapped lips. And I forgot, so I was thinking about running to Shoppers Drug Mart there. I forgot the old chapstick there because the wind yesterday, I don't know if you were outside.
Yeah, it was pretty windy. It was pretty windy.
Like, I'm surprised I don't have like one of those wind tans or burns, I guess. Not a wind tan, a wind burn from yesterday. But yeah, lots of fun there. And then my wife just mentioned to me that she's taking the dog out for a walk right now as well. So the weather must be quite nice out there right now. But Obi, let's just review some of the trades.
Yes.
This is $4 in the money.
Boom.
So right there, as we wait for Tesla to go, I'm still waiting for another upside trade there. We're 30 cents in the money right now on the TQs as we get that VWAP trade. And we did buy the dip, but we did get stopped out. We're still red on the futures. I mean, not going to sit here and pretend like we're not. Big Bear AI, Oppo day. We want it to go up when we hit the Big Bear AI. So that's trying to go. And look, man, we've taken out some profit, so it's been okay right there. And then the Alex Karp, man. Whoa, okay. We're now at, Obi? Yes. And I know this is not necessarily something to necessarily cheer for every day because daily goals can change. But we're at one daily goal right there. So we've hit our daily goal right now for the day. So should be a good one. Oh, you know what I got? I'm going to show you guys in a minute. For swimming, I got paddles. Okay. Because I was researching, I'm like, how do I get a physique like you two over here, Joe and Obi? And I was thinking, I was doing some weights last week, so the arms were, the arms were a little bit sore, and I was like, but it feels good.
Yeah.
So how can I add to the swimming? So I'm going to show you in 1 second what we got. We got a little aid there to try to get a little more resistance going on right there. There he is.
Nice.
There he's punching out the.
Oh, you want me to flex too?
Yes.
Oh no.
No, do not. That's Joe's and Sharif's thing.
Yeah.
That's the midday show.
We'll keep that for the professionals.
I'm gonna go show you guys what I got.
The professionals.
But yeah, Obi,
show us your paddles.
Yeah, I will. In 1 second here. So just getting some more out on Palantir. Let me go get them. They're just in my bag.
Oh, you have the physical paddle? No way. Okay, let's go. That's solid. Okay, so what am I watching here? People in the chat being like, why is, I think somebody mentioned, why is Obi not trading more? Hey, guess what? Where's the trade, right? Do I want to force trades? Absolutely not. But do we want to talk about markets? Absolutely yes. And that's what we're here for. Where is the next trade relative to my playbook?
Amazon.
But right now, there are those paddles. Let's hear about them. So they make you swim faster? They're like webbed.
They're not webbed.
They kind of provide as like webbing?
You weren't listening. They're not making me swim faster. They're not doing anything like that. So see, these are called fins apparently.
Okay.
I never tried this. You put your right hand in, you put your left hand in, and you swim all
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's kind of like it's the same effect as potential
so it's like
webbing.
when you're like this, and it gives you the more resistance.
Yes.
So working the upper body. See what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because right now I'm swimming about 1.25 kilometers.
Oh,
yeah, every day. And then I'm adding in the weight training as well. So I'm using these now to get when you're, I got to read it exactly.
Yeah. So do you have a
Can't trade with these?
Yeah, no. I mean,
it's like Wolverine.
those are cool. But no, so right now you're doing about 2.5 clicks?
What?
2.5 kilometers?
No, 1.25.
1.25.
Yeah.
So
what's 50 laps?
So where were you at when you first started, and what's your goal for this year?
I don't. That hasn't started yet.
Okay.
All right. There. So
something to think about. Something to think about.
Yeah. No, because the thing about the swimming is this. I have to tell you. So I go to the Y, but the thing is that the lane swim is only from 11 till 12.
Okay.
So by the time I get there, there's only so much time that I have.
Right.
So I feel like what I need to do is do less about the distance and then just go for the sprint.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yep. So what I'm trying to do now is just get the heart rate going a little bit more, which is why we got these.
I think that's a solid idea. Again, and I think it definitely makes you look a lot cooler as well.
Shut up, Obi. I know this does not make me look cool, and I feel like you're just saying that.
If they were in red, I would totally rock those. 100%. Because red is also the fastest color, and you would see me zooming around the track.
Okay, so if you went, do you own a car or?
Yeah.
Is it red?
No, it's white.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, don't get a fast car. We don't want that.
The interior is kind of like red, like a mahogany.
I've got to get rid of these things before I. All right. The more you know
Yes.
about paddles, apparently, in swimming.
Oh
So
boy. Well, right now we got
I know
small
it's calories
cap
in versus calories out. I know, but like I'm putting less calories in and exposing less calories out. I'm getting more calories out, less calories in. But my body weight has pretty much stayed the same since I've been doing this over the last basically 5-6 months. Feel like tone is getting probably better.
Yeah,
but
it'll take time.
needs to take time.
Yeah. You just
And
got to
then,
keep it up.
I also need to get the kids out of the house because they have snacks. And visually seeing those
Yes.
snacks is willpower, right? So we got to get that going. But we're doing really well here trading today. We have 4 positions on Big Bear AI's in the money. Palantir's $1.50. The triple Q's is 40 cents, and Tesla's now almost. It was higher. Tesla's pulling back a little bit. We're only out of 75%. We're still in 70% of this Tesla trade. 10. So we're going to have to get some more pieces out. Are we waiting for Adara? That's my bad completely. Okay. Adara over at the screen. Let's go.
Look here for the IWM trying to push higher. Is that Russell 2000? Not always performing, I guess, identically to the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, but a good look for them today. PONY, Pony AI. This is a multi-day runner. Most recent catalyst for this one came on Friday morning, announcing a partnership with Tencent on L4 robo-taxis. Then we have PLUG, Plug Power, with a 35% short float, announcing this morning that they signed a $525 million secured credit facility and providing, I guess, early Q2 revenue or preliminary revenue here above estimates, or mostly above estimates for PLUG. Last but not least here, we have, we're just going to take a moment there. There we are. There we go. Remotes. Last but not least, we have Odyssey Marine Exploration, OMEX. No surprise here. This one's been pretty strong as of late, confirming that they have sufficient operational funding and welcoming Donald Trump's executive order last week on deep sea mining. The reporting of this executive order actually is what led OMEX to start trading higher in the first place. Back to you.
For that. Markets kind of coming in here, Sean. So I was looking at this Tesla. I'm like, all right, well, we had the idea of supply being maybe in the low 290s. We're holding a little bit of VWAP there as well. But in the market's kind of chopping around on that 19.5. So I did engage a little bit here to begin with. But again, I think I want to give this the ability, or have the ability to try this a couple of times before it can potentially come in. Look at that. Was instantly down about a point and then kind of bidding right back up right now. So maybe a little bit of some action there. Still kind of chopping around. So let's wait and see. Amazon's consolidating higher than its current day low in and around the 187.5 area. Yeah, let's see. Market's catching a little bit of a bid now. So yeah, a little bit of a shake and bake on that.
Oh boy, we're
selling, getting bought right
back
up.
Now.
Yeah, Sean.
Palantir is now Rip City. $1.80 in the money on Palantir, $2.25 in Tesla. And if you want to join the trading community, we all know that this saying. Big opportunity comes with big risk. We know that saying, right, Obi? Yep. But what if that wasn't true anymore? Oh, that would be crazy, right? Trade the Pool is redefining what risk means for traders. No more risking your life. I read this, no more risking your life. I was like, but then after that is savings? No more risking your life savings to prove yourself in the market. They give you access to company capital, up to $200,000 to trade real stocks. No CFDs, and your downside is limited to a single one-time fee that starts at just $47. That means no blowing up your personal account. You get to trade with serious buying power, all while knowing your loss is capped. Trade the Pool now offers an unlimited time during the evaluation. You get the freedom to trade your way with no time pressure. Make sure you do visit tradethepool.com and see how far your $47 can go. And $47 or not, make sure you do scan that QR code and grab your 10% off, because 10% off $47 is how much, Obi?
4.7.
Exactly, and that's about a coffee. So you can grab that. Make sure you do get it with us ASAP. All right, man, there goes Palantir. Huge move to the upside. We do take some out. There goes Tesla. Bouncing. So we are on another piece there of Tesla at 287.50. So that so far is so good right there as well. Although we'll be down on Tesla today, but looking to make that back. And the futures are kind of just like meh. That had a huge move up there into $54. We should have taken it out in and around that area. So now I'm going to, well, shoulda, coulda, woulda. When you look at it, yes. So I'm going to put an offer there at $53.90. Hey, what's up, Randy? I didn't see you there. But I don't know. What do you want to talk about, Randy? You into XOM lately? We can take out some oil. Let's check out some Exxon for you. Here, 109. Any thoughts on a price level here of 109? It is starting to tick up just a little bit there. When's the summer fuel kicking in?
Now.
Okay, that was easy.
Summer driving season is upon us, but rig counts are down, both Chevron and XOM. That's in the Gulf, that's in the Permian. So there's a bit of oversupply. They're trying to fill up the SPR. I don't know when that's going to happen, but apparently it's on the list of things to do with this administration. But summer driving's here, so prices I would expect to be a bit flat as far as refined prices go, which is gasoline, diesel, blah, blah, blah. But I'd expect a dip in XOM and Chevron. Just again, we got a bit of oversupply in the market, so we'll see how that plays out.
Okay, good. Yeah, I mean, I do like to get some ExxonMobil in my life as well. I like the dividend. I like the fact that I'm a little underexposed right now to oil, the energy space. So, yeah, I like that. Good call there, Randy. All right, Obi, everyone wants to know something about your positions now.
I think that Tesla's kind of chopping around sideways here. We got that aggressive push right off of that bit of a sell-off there, but we're chopping around, like we said, that 19.5 area, which again seems to be still seems to be acting as a bit of a level of interest. There we saw that strong bid come up off of the open. We reverted right back into that area, and now we're chopping up at that area. So I have no idea, but the future is kind of holding in and around this 19.5. So yeah, just being a little bit patient. Tesla's trading below this VWAP, but still consolidating, chop. This could go any way. I have no idea which way Tesla is going to trade going forward on the day. But again, just keeping an eye on, trying to stay a little bit nimble as Tesla this trade potentially gets a little charged up. Alphabet back down. So we talked about that Alphabet potential continuation, and Google is one of the only ones that is trading at some fresh lows as we speak. So current day low at 160.11s. Here on Google, so that selling coming in. We talked about that prior day low at 161. So far we're about a point below that, trading at that 160. So we're getting some of that continuation of that selling coming in here on Google as well. So that's something I have on watch. Tesla, again, I don't know if this one is ready just yet, but it seems like every now and then people are hitting the bid a little bit more aggressively than they are the ask. But I think if the market just does nothing and consolidates here, Tesla is more than capable of going one way or the other. But with some of the other Mag 7s kind of potentially coming in, and we have that overhead supply at that 290s. I'm just looking for more of the same. Let's see if I was looking for sellers to potentially step down. I don't know if this is that case here, but as of right now, we've been making lower lows and holding underneath that VWAP. And the market, as of right now, is kind of it traded higher, it traded lower. Now we're consolidating near the lows. But let's see what crypto is up to with Adara.
We're going to start here this crypto update with the 5-minute chart of Bitcoin because I think it paints a really clear picture. We have a bit of a double top here, more or less around that 95.6 area. Then we push to the downside, making a low right about that 94,000. Push up higher once again. And now we have a little bit of a topping tail candle with the following 5-minute candle closing right at, or just, I guess, above the low of this topping tail. So potentially a bit of a bearish signal getting put in for BTC, but we're going to have to wait and see there. On the daily chart, we're seeing a lot of support here, as I mentioned earlier, around that 94, in this case actually 93,000, but still very unable to get that 96,000 level to break above. We tapped it on Friday. We made a lower high today. Let's talk about some of these other crypto-related names here. Bitcoin up about 2/3%. Ethereum down about 0.5% here, so both are pretty muted. Solana down about 1%. BNB pretty flat. XRP up about 3%. Cardano up about 1.5%. So not only are these names trading distinctly different from one another, but they're also not making huge moves today. Back to you.
Tesla's coming in a little bit to the downside. There's the market selling off a little bit more aggressively. It seems like both the ES and the NASDAQ are now poised to try and attempt to test their day lows there. And there goes Tesla a little bit to the downside here. So caught a quick, nice little scalp on that one there. Let's see if it'll have me back in. Oh boy, Sean. Seems like sitting beside you, I get a little lucky because I see that you have access to the club, and sometimes because of that, maybe I'm getting a little lucky here as well, and going for some clubbing here in a Tesla. You know, so it should be interesting.
Yeah.
But that selling kind of coming in. Let's see if we crack day lows. I don't know if it's going to crack day lows, but I'm going to try to stay as nimble as possible here and take off a decent chunk there. So now I'm out of about 75% of that there. Let's see if we can kind of bid back up. Again, I'm looking for sellers at VWAP. We kind of talked through this. I was like, I have no idea what this is going to do, but in my head, I may or may not have certain probabilities that I do like. That's why I'm in the trade to begin with. Let's see if that bid can come in. Like at the end of the day, I have no idea what it's going to do, but I'm trying my best to observe and stay nimble as well. So we talked about C size. So initially I did get in with C, and then I'm like, okay, well, this is starting to look a little bit better. So I doubled up again on the breakdown and covered about 75% there as it potentially comes right back in. So I don't know if we're going to break day low just yet, but that was some aggressive selling. And again, the futures are coming back into the same area where we did catch a bid, so I want to stay as nimble as possible on that one. And with that bid coming in, let me just take it off here. If we start trading below the low a day, and I'll look for more continuations. But I've been doing a little bit better in this market with a more scalping mindset. And if I get into Tesla and it instantly gives me $2 right off the bat, then I'm going to be I'm not going to look at that for too long. That's kind of what I'm looking for there. But again, where is the next trade? That's what I'm asking. Scalping today saying, Casey, Obi-Wan, welcome to my world. Yeah, no, I love scalping, but a lot of times where I find myself getting into trouble is I'll get into a good trade via the scalp, and then I'll hold on looking for that level-to-level move. And then we were talking about this earlier. I'm like, if I have to kind of reiterate this to myself. If the reason for getting in is the tape has to be the reason for you to get out. And if the reason for the tape was looking weak, sellers more dominant than buyers because I've been watching it, it's distinctly different. Then as soon as those buyers come in, I want to start to cover. I want to get out of that position. Look at that Tesla coming in. So this is, again, great proof that bid did step back in on that 185s because I'm watching it like a hawk. And look at that, reverting right back to my second entry there is now Tesla. So now the question becomes, is this going to give me more chances to reload? This is just a chop, but bigger picture, we're trading off of a supply zone, and now we're trading below VWAP. So I want to short pops 284.70. See, that's the thing, man. You can go both ways. You can counter, you can go with trend. Yeah. They're all more than valid trades, and that's a beautiful thing about trading, right? Each and every kind of move, as the cards are laid out, the probabilities change for the short, for the long, depending on what frame you're looking at, depending on what other confluencing factors are there on the table as well. But again, I have no idea.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's all we're talking about. The odds of...
What's up? Oh, you're muted.
Oh, I'm muted. My bad. I mean, that's all that it comes out to is the odds, right? I mean, that's why I like to talk. You're talking about C setup, C size, B, this, A. Like, you got to have the reasons to get in and out of positions. And especially in this market where we are so sensitive to any of these headlines, right? And so, we just bought the same price down there, 284.70, able to get some out there. As Obi was talking about, scalping $2. We'll take 150 there on Tesla and then wait to see. We still do have a position. My whole thing is, and I was saying to Obi even when we were up here, it was even before that last tank, I said to him, it looks like we're holding below VWAP. We're having a problem getting above it. We're not even coming close to seeing any of those highs. Like, that was such a dramatic move. And then I guess we just said that there wasn't, too many significant numbers. And all of a sudden that number hits there, and then it absolutely wipes the whole market a little bit there at 10:30. So that was a bad little number there. The Dallas Fed manufacturing minus 36 versus minus 16. So not great there, as we know that manufacturing, and I don't know exactly where that number, why it was not even expected worse than that, as we know manufacturing and some of this stuff has been affected by tariffs. So maybe some sort of a play there. Out of our TQs, but bought it right back because I hate getting stopped out on a number, and I just wasn't aware, I wasn't paying enough attention that number was coming out. So I'll stop out. Once it came out, we let it flush down, we get stopped out, then we take a little bit of a trade there, try to get it longer now back into the system. So we're back long here into the futures, and here it goes, man. This is a good trade for us now. Let's go. Starting to climb a little bit higher. Now $1 in Tesla, as that's getting back upside, I think we'll do that. And we're sort of just still massaging our Palantir trade. Hopefully that'll get going. Big Bear AI is not doing anything. So that could be a level of concern for me here. BBAI trying to get going as well. So we'll see if that has any plans for us. Already dipped down again. I'm still waiting for it to get going. We're long right now at 61s. That's not going that well. OMX had a 190 handle on it. Early, dropped in. Now it looks like it's trying to bounce around 170. You know what names were going last week? What? Marijuana names. So we could check out that today as well. Big move down now. We didn't have too much news on this last week as Adara was scouring for some of that. But there it is. MSOS down 3.5% today, Obi. Let's go over and see what you're all about.
Hey, man. Again, are you looking for the next trade?
Kind of.
Because eSignal. Trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade to an elite trading experience. Analyze, strategize, and capitalize. Foresee profitable opportunities with the platform that you need. Infinite data, instant trading, know where the market is moving before others with the lightning fast data. Charts that change the game. Customize, analyze markets faster your way. Better backtesting and scanning predict the future by understanding the past. Reliable real-time data, up-to-the-second market information from hundreds of global markets. Everything that you need all in one place, so don't miss a beat. Execute your best trades now. Are you ready to elevate your trading? Scan the QR code or check the link in the description, and that is eSignal. And that is a potential place where you can find the next trade, guys. But the next trade right now, Sean, I'm looking at it, and I know you're sitting in it. I can't word right now because a lot of this jumbling.
I have that impact on people.
Yes. Look at the bid. The bid shows back up off of 285s right here on Tesla. We're coming right back up into that VWAP, maybe back into the trend. So the question now I'm asking is, are sellers still dominant? I'm going to continue asking that question. Are sellers stepping down? Last time they stepped down was 288s. So just shy of 289s. Let's see if we make lower highs or VWAP still continues to hold, or does the situation change? The market is bidding back up off of that 19.5, but if we continue to chop it up a little bit, then I don't know. But let's see what's up with Adara.
Choppy.
So again, you're basically what happened here with the Dallas Fed manufacturing number, not a number that usually moves the market, but today certainly of note. So it dropped to negative 35.8 points in April from negative 16.3 points in March of 2025. So pretty significant month-over-month drop, though it's nowhere near its all-time low of negative 74.4 in April of 2020. So just some context. Apparently, from what I'm reading here in Bespoke Investment, tariffs were mentioned in this Dallas Fed manufacturing report a cool 33 times. So tons of mentions of tariffs here. That seems to be some of the factors, I guess, on watch with regards to this number. Let's talk about this heat map, which is a little bit greener than it was when I first opened this page about 5 minutes ago. Finance really strong, consumer services pretty strong, producer manufacturing pretty strong, transportation, a little bit of strength, energy minerals, consumer durables, health technology, with the exception of Eli Lilly getting an HSBC downgrade, actually looking pretty good here as well. Tech services, once again, a little bit mixed. We have technology services here, Meta and Oracle slightly up, Google, Netflix slightly red, and Nvidia on reports that Huawei is trying to basically step onto their turf in China, sending NVDA to the downside about 2%. Electronic technology, otherwise a little bit mixed there, guys. Back to you.
Oh man, that Nvidia, we wrote down 110 and we had just talked about it. It got as high as 110.40 there before dropping out. I'm taking out some more. Obi and I were just talking about this, and it's like you don't need to be in something for a long time, especially if you have share size on there, because scalping is a plan of action. And in this market, when you're getting news bombs all over the place, that is something that you have to respect. So right back there, low of the day, essentially, into the 50-period moving average. We'll empty the clip out a little bit on that trade. So we only have a third left now. We got a bunch out here because I was like, okay, we can make that retracement back. We'll take it. Okay. Love to trade asked me how much of BBAI do we have on it? Pretty much all of it. We have about 85% still. We only got out of a small piece there because I thought we were going for the run, right? I mean, we are waiting for the 200-period moving average. I want to just be in Big Bear AI. You never know where we're going to go on this. So I like the stock here, and I like the name, and I thought that we had a good chance to go with 22% short float on BBAI. This looks like it's doing nothing. So if we look at sort of what this has been doing, we could just equate this to what was happening on Friday, where nothing was happening until something was. So let's give it a go. I'm going to wait till for 340 to break on Big Bear AI. Down there. We're having a decent day, so it doesn't matter. We could give it all back with this trade. But I mean, I want to try it. We like the stock. There's news on it. Short float, AI name. I like it. Although the market is trying to figure out if it's going to be a bull or a bear today, I'm pretty confident in Big Bear AI.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's definitely one to keep an eye on here. It seems like we missed a few super chats here, so sorry guys about that. I did see this one a little earlier during the rundown, so and then totally forgot about it. So on the Rail TV with a super chat here, we also got Pool Shark as well. So let's read out some of these super chats here. So on the Rail asking, thank you for the super chat. What do you think about Gap Inc? So right now watching that Intel. Look at that VWAP hold, man. That continuation, oh boy. SSR as well, don't forget, day 2. But let's take a quick look at Gap right now and see what that one is up to. Gapping to the upside. Now this one I did kind of a push, sorry, not push. I put it up on my chart earlier when you did mention it on the Rail, and something interesting to watch out for on this ticker, because I did have a little bit of charting from earlier. But let's see. I don't know if it's on this specific chart. Oh, yes, it is. There you go. Boom. So some strong earnings report, that bid that came in November of 2024. Sure, we've had an earnings since then as well, but I think this one may or may not have been a little significant. That's why I put that anchored on there. But yeah, you can see it kind of chops, and every time it comes back in. Similar idea to that of some of the anchors I've been showing you earlier on this session. This area is now acting as a little bit of a supply zone. Sure, catalyst-driven selling, whatever, you can call it whatever you want. The chart speaks literally in volumes, but so you can see that anchored VWAP hold on the gap. We're coming right back up into this area, which, again, similar story as Tesla, has acted as a bit of a supply zone. So let's see. We've been catching a bit of a bid. If this acts as a supply zone, if this trend breaks, then maybe you can find more selling on this ticker. But I have no idea. The market's been bidding up. You'd have to look at the sector as well. I don't know how, I guess Gap would fall under consumer discretionary.
Retail, probably.
Retail, something like that.
Retail.
Yeah, it's definitely retail, but it's like, anyways, regardless.
Probably consumer
it doesn't really matter.
That makes sense. Yeah. I don't know. That's
coming into a supply
Walmart
area.
cost.
That's what I see there. I have no idea, though. Again, there could be fundamental things going on with the ticker that I absolutely do not understand, and that is way above my my pay grade. I just like pretty colors and lines on charts for the most part. But Gap, that's a little bit of a look on Gap. And Pool Shark saying RTY1 futures, 13,000 volume on the 50-minute. What's RTY1?
Support 1 and support, is that resistance 1?
So he means the Russell. So here's the thing. IWM was actually on my morning watch. Here, before we even take a look at it, let's take a look. Would you look at that? Let's take a look at this right here. Where's IWM? IWM, it's very, very simple right here, Sean. I'm like, IWM, 195.50 breakout period. One sentence, don't need to know more. Right, so let's go. Well, this is the Russell future. Okay, so we're seeing that breaking out here. So this was kind of the structure I was looking for it to break out. So I think we are testing that as of right now. So let's go take a look at the IWM itself. So what was that price? 195.50. Hey yo,
Hey, yo.
We're right there. We're right there, Sean. So current day high on the IWM is 196.15. We're trading on top of 195.60s. We're poised for a higher time frame breakout. We're making higher lows relative to the opening range low, relative to that second pullback that we got, and this little chop we're getting as of right now. The question now becomes, do we sustain 195 halves, hold, or do we just consolidate now, and then maybe this is a much bigger picture, higher time frame move? I like to take a look at the 3-hour chart, and that's what I kind of caught this on the overnight scan. I'm like, all right, we're kind of building up. Let's see if we can kind of sustain a move above 195 half. So it's interesting that you mentioned that pull shark. That was definitely on my morning watch list this morning. And we got another, while I was saying that, Sean, we got another super chat here. So what is this? Co, I'm just going to call you Co. Thank you for the super chat. Omex, Odyssey Marine, do you believe the options contracts taken on this can help with expected future price? Now, again, I think Joe can probably answer this question a little bit better. But yeah, I think supply demand in option chains can have an effect on the actual price as well. I think we've seen that happen in past markets, in extreme cases as well. So let's take a quick look at Omex here and see what's going on. So marine exploration, so they've been getting a little bit of action there over the past couple of days. Let's see, let's look up some stats here. Shares float, 25 mil, not too bad. Market cap, just shy of 50 mil, not too bad. Volume, 87 million. That's pretty good. So trading almost, I guess, above roughly about $150 million volume on the day. Today here is Odyssey Marine Exploration, but it seems like it's been trending. Maybe some news. I have no idea what's going on here.
It was a big one,
last bit of a trend.
Short,
but let's see.
Short float.
Yeah.
And a low float.
Yeah. Do you remember what the short float was on off the top, or?
No. So I think that was a funny one. Is it about Odyssey with Adara? No, okay, so then let's wait a second. All right, so OMEX here, we're gonna go to Adair in a second. I just wanted to check it out for you for that reason here. If we go over to details, right here, OMEX, let's go over and have a quick little look. Okay, where is it? Overview, there it is.
There it is.
Yeah, so it's not too bad. It was more the float of 24 million shares. We were doing over 100 million shares there the last couple of days, but the short float, again, will have to get updated. Right now, it's only at 8%. So I thought last week when Neil and I looked at it, it was like 3 or 4% or something like that. So OMEX, yeah, good little look right there for sure. All right, let's go over to Adair and see what's going on.
Brought to you by our friends at VinFast. VinFast closed 2024 with strong financial and operational performance, signaling big progress on its global EV journey. Q4 revenue reached roughly $678 million USD, up 70% year over year and 34% quarter over quarter, reflecting robust demand and improving sales execution. Over 97,000 EVs were delivered in 2024, including more than 53,000 in Q4 alone, a 192% increase year over year, underscoring traction across core and new markets. Progress on global expansion. 322 EV showrooms and 322 EV e-scooter showrooms now operational worldwide as of March 2025, including both VinFast-owned and dealer-operated locations. Green mobility ecosystem. Continued deployment of V-Green charging infrastructure and growth of GSM electric ride-hailing services in key Asian markets to drive long-term EV adoption. Thank you to VinFast. Here's the US dollar. This is the 3-minute chart here. You can really see lower highs, lower lows, starting, I guess, today. Then we get this push to the downside. This is actually a little bit before the Dallas Fed print that started here around 1024. But regardless, another break of another low here on the DXY. I was reading somewhere yesterday, I think it's down about 8% on the year is the US dollar. Yes, we got a little bit of a reprieve late last week. Right now, they're trying to give all of that back. Some support here going back to 99, that 99 level first initially made on Friday, April 11th. As of right now, we're around 99.2, so we could be breaking through that support pretty soon as well. Let's talk again about this May 7th, 2025 Fed meeting. That is coming up very soon. That's in about a week from now. 93% of participants still expecting that we will not get a cut. 7% of participants expecting a 25 basis point cut. So these odds have really stabled out. About a month ago, 81% expecting. Now we've increasingly seen these high 80s, low 90s numbers expecting this, expecting that we're not going to be getting any change. So let's find out what happens there. Generally, we're stabilizing in a lack of cut in May, though again, June, we are seeing slightly lower odds of a 25 basis point cut, but they're still overwhelming compared to the other possibilities. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Adara. So we only have about 10 minutes left.
Yeah, Tesla just, so we'll stop the last
Tesla's
fail on
taken
that
out-
last
Just
part.
take out the day low.
Yeah, just took out the day low, so we'll be flat on Tesla after all this here. Stopped out there at the end of it all, but good move, flat on that last little piece. We did average it back in there at 284 again, and there it goes, really dropping out. And we sort of had that spidey sense again because I was like, there's not much happening here in the market, and then we were just emptying out the clip again and again and again there on the TQs, a bunch of outs, as Adair was even speaking there at 53.90, as the market started to just feel fine, but Tesla was getting weaker. Our Nvidia call there at 110. I mean, what are we supposed to do other than take it? And we did it, and it happened in the first 2 minutes. So that was a really tough trade for me to sort of dig into there for that short, but that looks like that's going to be the right call there. So futures coming out. Palantir, I mean, again, more outs, waiting to get a little bit of a bottom take there if that's going to come into play or possible at all for a low take there, hopefully on Palantir. We are going to average this in again. Like, I still want to see if we break that 111.50 area, which is what we had already pegged out for on our notes. So if we can come back in, we'll try to buy some more here at 112 flat, and then watch out for that breakdown. Give it 50 cents to break down right now. The futures really are kind of calm here, so I'm not super concerned about anything here. They're holding out fine. Big Bear AI really isn't doing anything. We could check out that WW International today. So there it goes, man. 16% to the upside goes WW. So that's another runner. Look to see this one taking out 50 cents. So that could be a play, for anytime really. Taking out 50, a pretty key area there for WW. Yeah, we haven't looked too much at AMD or any of the chip names, really. I don't think you or I have mentioned Intel or anything like that other than...
Yeah, we mentioned a little bit of Intel.
Did we? Okay, I know we
it
mentioned
was
a little bit earlier.
crazy strong off open. Because
Right,
you did remember it's SSR as well. From
Ooh, that's right.
Earnings
I
day
actually
one.
did
Yeah.
forget
Today's
it.
earnings day two.
I actually did forget that. You want to do Profit X? Let's do Profit X. All right, if you're looking for unbeatable odds on the biggest games, switch immediately to Profit X's peer-to-peer platform. Neil and I have showed you the difference in prices. You can set the price, Obi. You talked about that with the elections. We'll have a look there in a minute. For that one-size-fits-all lines, you can change them. It's like crafting your own picking strategy with real-time trading tools. Secure the best odds, track all the action, and watch your plays come alive. Experience total control at every step. It's Profit X, sports playing reimagined. Use the code TRADERTV Live at checkout. Scan that to save your 2% and get $300, up to $300 back on your betting. But there it is. Scan that QR code, sign up for an account, and just check it out. And believe me when I tell you, the odds over there are much better than in any of your sports books. So worth checking out. Profit X. Okay. Yeah. Oh, we were talking about some runners. We were talking about AMD moving around today. On my hot list right now, this is just trade rates. It's Nvidia, it's Palantir. Palantir red on the day, down 0.8. Tesla bouncing off of that low right now at 283 and change for Tesla. APPX just showing up, so we can try to find out what's going on with that name. And this is brought to you by eSignal. Sharif mentioned to me, what about Pony? And that's trying to go as well. Pony trying to go upside. This was a name that we had seen last week. I believe it's like Pony AI or something. Good move there, upside right now for Pony. Starting to get going. Last levels to look at was in and around that $10 mark, 9.50. Right now taking down 9. So good little level break right there on PONY. Pony. Is it P-O-N-Y? What is it? Pony? It is Pony AI. Yeah. So we're looking at it right there. Let's see if we can ride that pony right now. Palantir, here it comes, man. It's almost at our breaking spot. We do have the long now, 111.95. Let's give this 50 cents all the way to the bottom. Some of these tech names appear to be broken right now and heading a lot lower. Well, the future's kind of holding out. So yeah, definite strength somewhere. Just does not look like it's there in the tech names, Obi.
Sometimes in my head, while I'm just like, I'm taking quick moves there, quick scallops. I'm just like, you know the Batman theme, no, Batman. So in my head, I'm just like, no, scalp.
I would know. Never heard of it. Keep going, Obi. How does it go?
No, scalp man.
Yeah.
So quick scalp off that 283 hold, back up into the 284s. I'm like, okay, well, the selling is slowing down. A little bit of a stall there, 283s, but again, kind of just chopping around on the market. So that's all she wrote for me as of right now. I'm waiting for the next trade. A little bit of uncertainty here. That was that first bid that came in off of the strong flush that we got, the breakdown right there, kind of retesting some of these prior lows there. So definitely maybe some participants involved there. But I'm going to wait for something that might be a little bit more higher probability for me, something stronger as well. But that could be anything for you relative to your playbook as well, right? So I was like, we're gonna go over that little snippet that I was talking about earlier, right? From that book. The book is called The Way of the Turtle. Great read. Still reading through it, but this is a quick couple of paragraphs here, and I think I went through this with Joe as well. I think a couple of weeks ago on the midday show. Wow, look at that! See that bid? No follow through on that bid, man. Like, I'm like, yeah. Reasons to buy, maybe.
Leaving that one alone.
Maybe. 84 comes in, if we can go to my chart right here. So 84 comes in and then boom, slams right back in. Fresh lows on Tesla. So sellers are stepping down. My original idea to short 290s to 295s coming in beautifully. And yeah, I think it was Dan McIsaac in the chat saying, yeah, I got to follow the plan. I got to do better following the plan, man. But again, it's a work in progress. I will do a little bit better. But this snippet now that I'm going to talk about before we hand it over to the midday boys. I'm going to just read this over right here. So this kind of really kind of rung with me. So I've pinned it on my Discord chat. And I read over it every now and then. So this is just a snippet. I'm like, okay, at the same time, many doctors and dentists expect to be successful traders immediately. Trading appears to be so simple that they believe that this should be possible. However, I found that a large percentage of them were not successful as traders because they did not have realistic expectations. Success in one sphere of business does not guarantee success in trading. They did not realize that although trading is simple, for the reasons I outlined earlier in the part of the book, it is not easy. It takes a lot of time and study before one realizes just how simple trading is. But it takes many years of failure before most traders come to grips with how hard it can be to keep things simple and not lose sight of the basics. Consider the turtles. We were taught the same methods and taught in only 2 weeks, yet some of us did not make any money. So I think that really rings hard for me. I got to keep, you got to keep those expectations in check. Can't be looking for the moon when the price action is just giving you, a little bit of a boulder, and you got to be happy with the boulder.
Yeah, not everything's going to moon at all times. And yeah, follow your plans. And that's really good. Nah, it's not that time. It's time for this one.
4,000 votes. That's
yeah, we like
sick.
that one. Yeah, there's Amazon, there's Apple, there's Microsoft, there's Meta. But the one segment that everyone's been waiting for.
Boom.
I mean, literally, the number one segment in Trader TV Live. Today's plain omelet for the morning. Did you have one of those?
Yeah, I did. Solid. Yeah, a little bit of protein.
I'm still impressed with what we had last week, where we had the peppers. We had the fried or the roasted peppers and onions.
Oh, I don't know if I saw that.
Yeah,
I don't think I had that one, but yeah, I heard about that one. That one's
me and
good.
my guy Joey Options over there were really enjoying that one. All right, this is going to set Joe into another planet right here when we talk about what is for lunch. This man tries to steal this off my lunch quite often. Today we have oven roasted turkey right there today. So we're gonna get a good one for that with roasted baby potatoes, thyme, butternut squash, and a chef's choice salad. So that means that on our salad, we'll probably be having that turkey as well. So looks like a good, decent, healthy lunch today with oven roasted turkey. And then you get the roasted baby potatoes. I mean, I love baby potatoes for sure. And the butternut squash should be really good with a little bit of a side salad. So, yeah, that is. Let's go. That's what's for lunch.
Nice. Sounds.
But what we need for lunch really is the market to bounce up a little bit here. I'm going to be out of here. We're going to go try on those paddles.
Oh yeah.
I'll let you know.
So today is the first time you're going to be trying those?
Yeah, man. I just opened them right here today.
Sick.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are going to be the first time we're going to be trying those. So we'll see how those rock with it. But right there, Palantir does come down into 1150. So this is it, man. We're going to give it to 1140. If we break lower, then we gone. We do have our position. It's 1172 is the price that we have. Right. Okay. Here it comes. comes upside a little bit now. So as you were just saying, let's sort of like push some of those boulders aside. If this can get going to the upside right there, we will start to take it out a little bit as our net is now dancing around here like Muhammad Ali. Man, we're stinging like a butterfly. Dance like a butterfly, sting like a bee right around here. So that's what we're trying to do. Be very cautious about these levels and then, you know, punch it in when we see that opportunity. So far, so good there. Long TQQs, long Palantir, and then long Big Bear AI. Let's see what that goes. Okay, big position right now on Palantir as it comes right into our days. That's twice in a row we've handed right now to ourselves 50-cent winners off that low of the day for Palantir right there, 111.50 as it was written. Okay, Obi, so let's say goodbye to everybody,
all right,
and we'll throw it over to the midday.
Yeah, I mean, solid action this morning. Some solid trades. Got to do a little bit better with following the plan, but got to also stay nimble and adapt to the situation that is on hand.
Promise you'll come back at 2 o'clock.
I will be here, Sean.
All right, me and this guy, 2 o'clock. For now, those guys. Thank you so much, Adara, Fabian, Ramin, Bears vs. Bulls, everybody. Michael Noss today. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the show. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Let's go to the midday.
Boom, boom, boom. Bang! Greetings and